Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Eldrich Horror. This game I just got done doing a live play with Colin, so if you're interested in seeing that, check out my live tab. We had an absolute blast playing it, but we didn't get a chance to actually finish it. So I'm excited to bring this back to the table, and we're going to play a full game here. We are going to play with 2 investigators, and we're going to try some awesome things. There's a lot of different expansions that have been added to this game, and Colin over the One Stop Coffee Shop has been gracious enough to let me borrow his copy of the game, which does include every single thing that has ever been made, and to an extent. We're going to put most of it into action and hopefully have a fantastic experience. If you're excited to see Eldrich Horror, then I need you to meet me at the table. I'm not going to go through a full setup video for Eldritch Horror. If you're interested in seeing them, there's some great ones out there. RTFM did a great setup and explanation of how the game is played. So if you're interested in seeing how that works, please check it out. I'll try to put a link to it in the description of this video. We're going to be playing against this character here. This is going to be our bad guy. This is going to be the Ancient One, Nephren Ka. Mainly because I can actually pronounce his name, I hope. The information that you see on here is, if we have to deal with cultists, it's right here. There is some setup for him. We're going to set aside his special encounters and put the Egyptian sideboard out there, so we have that. This is how we're going to make our Mythos deck. I've already set that up and it's ready to go. And here's all the different things we have to worry about with him. First, we need to get 3 mysteries solved. When we do, we win the game. If there's ever a reckoning, we're going to have to move 1 space towards the bent pyramid. Each investigator that did not will lose 1 sanity. Of course, that's a may, so we could lose a sanity, not move if we don't want to. And when Nephren Ka wakes, we'll flip the card and deal with it. It says right here, evil stirs beneath the sands of Egypt as the Brotherhood of the Beast, a cult with mysterious loyalties, searches for the final resting place of the dark pharaoh Nephren Ka, seeking to fulfill the prophecy of his resurrection. Not only are we dealing with him, we also have some pretty cool things here. This is like the prelude card in our different kind of quest thing we're going to have. This is going to be pretty awesome. This is under the pyramids. It says right here, bruised, dehydrated, and short of breath, you lean against the limestone pillar, gasping for air. Behind you, a black pit in the sand reveals the entrance to some lost passage beneath the pyramid. Your skin is raw and bloodied where the ropes chafed you. By luck, you escaped, but soon your captors will notice your absence. The roar of some profane creature echoes forth from the pit, and you fear that your presence here has not gone unnoticed. So during the setup of set 5, we're going to put the Egyptian sideboard out there. There's already out there based on our Ancient One. Right here, though, it says, after resolving setup, if Nephren Ka is the Ancient One, search the gate stack for all the gates that correspond to the spaces on the Egypt sideboard. Randomize the gate stack and place those gates on top in a random order. Then spawn 1 monster on the active expedition space and 1 on the bent pyramid. At this point, we are then going to, if Nephren Ka is not the Ancient One, set aside the all museum heist adventures, then draw a framed for theft adventure. We are playing with Nephren Ka, so we are going to be doing this framed for theft, which is pretty sweet. It says here, the Talisman of Wadjet, an amulet meant to protect the pharaohs in the afterlife, has been stolen. The police suspect a man named Eldrich Horror, but your gut tells you he is innocent. When this card enters play, place the adventure token on Cairo. So we're going to have to place it there. When the adventure is completed, the active investigator gains the Eldrich Horror unique asset, then draw a random museum heist 2 adventure. Is an encounter, an investigator on Cairo may attempt to convince the police that Eldrich has been framed. If he passes, the police release him into your custody under the condition that he apprehends the thief. Complete the adventure. So that is where we're actually going to place our adventure, or the adventure token, and that's most likely we're going to have to spawn our enemy here, because it does have spawn a monster on the active expedition space. So that is what we're going to do. On top of that, I am going to place a random monster on the bent pyramid, so we'll have that ready to go as well. Here's the Egypt sideboard. I have done everything it says. There's a monster in the active expedition space right here. We spawned a monster up here in the bent pyramids. Now we do have to place one gate, so I had placed one gate. That's this one right here. And remember, all the gates on top are going to have to do with this area here because I had to put them on top of the thing. There is one more monster that spawned outside the gate, but this one does have a symbol here. So when it is spawned, it says, when this monster is spawned, move it to the heart of Africa. So I'm going to place that in the heart of Africa. It's going to hang out right there. The one clue we are going to place based on our 2-player reference is right up here in London. And here are all the cards we have in reserve. We got handcuffs, training regiment, a holy spear, and a blunderbuss. The holy spear, by the way, looks absolutely sweet. I'd like to get a hold of that. We'll see if we can do that. It's time to meet our investigators. We are going to be using Ursula Downs. The reason I'm doing that is I chose 2 people that actually look like they're out looking in the jungles or in they're like adventurers of some kind. So I grabbed 2 that look like that. That is our theme here. That's what we're going with. This character, Ursula, does start with the mineral research. It is a task after resolving a general encounter or an expedition encounter on a wilderness space. You may examine the area's soil with my investigation, and observation, I apologize. If you pass, I gain 2 clues and discard this card, so that's one cool thing going on. On top of that, we do have our little quest for our character here. It says, next big discovery. Discovery is not achieved in the quiet of a university laboratory, not the kind of discovery you crave. You pause to listen. Strange noises echo from deep within the ruins. You nod defensively to your colleague and friend Jake Williams before stepping boldly through the stone archway. As an action, if you're on a named city space, you may discard 1 artifact and this card to gain the renowned reward. When Doom advances to 6 or lower, discard this card and gain the Pandora box consequence. I'll tell you right now, nothing good is going to come out of Pandora's box. I don't think that hope is going to be what's going to come out when I have to draw that card. So that's her. She does gain also an ability to, or her starting equipment is mineralogy research and the ability to upgrade 1 skill of my choice. I've chose Will. Will's going to go up by 1, so now that's a 3. The other person I chose is Monterey Jack for basically 2 reasons. 1, he again looks like a cool-looking explorer type guy. And 2, Rescue Rangers was an amazing show, and I think Monterey Jack, if I remember right, was one of the characters. He does start with 2 items here, 7 health and 5 sanity. He gets a treasure map. When you gain this card from the deck, place 1 random clue and face up in the card. Well, that's not going to happen because this didn't come from the deck. After resolving a location encounter or an expedition encounter on this space, flip this card. So there is that we have to do. Oh, I see. We do have to draw the clue. Okay, I got it. I see how that works now. I do have to draw a clue. And I also have a bullwolf. I gain 1 attack during a combat encounter. If you roll a 1, when resolving a combat test during the combat encounter, or you may reroll, 1 if you want to. The clue for this one is going to be the bent pyramid. Okay, that's actually hilarious, says the bent All right, so actually good things are happening right now. A lot of this has completely, I did not script any of this. I don't know enough about this game. This is only my 2nd time ever playing this game. I didn't realize that the characters I took actually start in locations that have to do really thematically with what we're doing on this game. He is going to start on the pyramids, and Ursula does start in the heart of Africa. The last thing to do is see what mystery we are going to have to solve here. We have the Black Wind. A vicious, tempestuous storm wreaks havoc upon the people and lands of Egypt, leaving naught but desolate wastelands in its wake. And yet, it may only be masking an even deadlier threat. When this card enters place, I will place 1 Eldritch token on each of the following spaces: Alexandria, Bent Pyramid, Cairo, and Tel El Marnara. As an encounter, an investigator on the space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to banish the Black Wind from Egypt. He draws and resolves a Black Wind special encounter. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half, I have to solve the mystery. So equal to half. That'd mean I only need 1? Well, that's not too bad. The final thing we have to do is look here. During my setup, I do have to set aside a mummy monster, a sand dweller monster, and a spawn of sabak monster, which we've done. And it says here, once per round during the action phase, an investigator may move along any number of interconnected local paths without performing an action, which is kind of cool. It is time to start the game. We can take 2 different actions. Here are the different actions we can do. Now, whenever you do an action, you cannot do the same action twice. We can travel. You can move 1 space, spending a travel ticket to move any additional spaces. We can prepare for travel to gain 1 travel ticket. You have to be in a city, and you can only take a ticket of what is leaving the city. For example, if we decided to be in Rome, we could either take a train ticket or a ship ticket because those are the things that are connecting to it. But if we were in, let's say, Istanbul, we could only gain train tickets because that's the only thing leaving it. And of course, you can only get them in a city. The next thing we can do is we can acquire an asset where we can test our influence to gain assets from the reserve with total value up to your test results. Spend the resources for additional successes. This can only be done in a city, and you cannot have any monsters there. Next thing we can do is rest to gain a health and sanity. And on top of that, it has to, again, have no monsters. We could gain a resource. We can gain up to 2 resources, which again would help us with our acquire assets. You can always trade with anybody that's in the same space as you, as long as they agree to do it. Focus, I can gain a focus token, which allows you to reroll a die when you're doing tests. You can have a maximum of 2 of those. And the last one is component actions. You can perform the actions of local actions of an opponent or companion. Each component action is a separate action. So at this point, I think the best thing to do is to move on to the sideboard because that's where everything is. I believe moving on to here is a move, so it has to be one of our actions, which is going to be our travel action. I believe. I could be wrong, I'm not exactly sure, but of course it does say down here once per round during the action phase, an investigator may move along any number of interconnecting local paths without performing an action. So at this point, now that I'm here, I can perform like a free action to move to one of these 3 places. And there's some really cool places out there. And remember, I have my treasure map for the bent pyramid, so I think I'm going to go there. I think that'd be my best bet. Not to mention I can take out this Biaki here, and eventually I can take out all this. I can do all this stuff in one little area here. That's absolutely phenomenal. That's going to be his first action is to travel. Then he's got his free action up to there. And then for his final action, he's going to take a focus token. We're going to grab one of these. This allows us to re-roll one of our dice when we do our tests. Interestingly, she has a power here that says that I can move 1 space along an uncharted path and then perform 1 additional action. And that's an action, not a travel action. So at this point, she's going to use that free action up to the pyramids, and then she's going to do a travel action up to Rome. At this point, she's going to do an influence action to try to get a hold of hopefully something in the reserve that can help her fight. Her influence is only a 2. I could have increased that by 1, but I chose not to. Maybe this is a bad idea. We'll see how it goes. I got 1 success. That's actually exactly what I wanted. That's perfect. With my 1 success, I'm going to gain a debt for 0. It says here, when performing an acquire assets action, you may gain a debt condition to immediately add 2 successes to the result. So I have my debt condition right here. Local action, I can test my influence. If you pass, I can discard this card. The other problem is if any of these symbol ever shows up on our Mythos cards, I'm going to have to deal with this debt. It says some men have come to collect your debt, flip the card. But with 3 successes, I can gain this holy spear, which is holy moly good. It says gain 4 fight or strength during a combat encounter. On top of that, it's magical. It's a relic weapon. It's an item. This is super good in all aspects. So we're now going to fill up the next thing with a cultist journal. So we have those available to us. And you can always take these bank loans, which most of the time, like I said, are not going to probably turn out well. Well, you might be able to do it. If you can get rid of this during an action during your turn, you won't have to deal with it. But of course, that reckoning symbol shows up. Boom, here they come. At this point, we'll move into the encounter step, and we'll resolve combat encounters against each monster on the space. If there are no monsters in the space, we get to choose what encounter we want to do after this. But first, we have to deal with this thing. And so we're going to flip it over and see what it's all about. It has 1 will, and it has 2 health. And we'll have to try to take this. It says if you defeat this monster during a combat encounter, you may lose 1 sanity and move 3 spaces instead of resolving another encounter. Well, I don't think I want to do that. But let's try to take this guy on. When doing a combat encounter, the first thing we're going to deal with is our will stat. We're going to roll that up. I only have 2 dice for my will, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I get 1 success. I got no successes. I got a 2 and a 2, which means I will lose 1 sanity because I was unable to succeed. I got no successes. If I would have gotten 1, I would have been totally fine, but that's how it goes. At this point, I am now going to attack him. I get to use my strength. I do have 4 strengths. So I'm going to be rolling 4 dice, and right here it says gain 1 strength for my combat encounters. And at this point afterwards, I may reroll 1 die when resolving a strength test during a combat encounter. So I will be able to reroll 1 of these dice after I roll them all up. Let's see if we can stop him from hitting us, and hopefully we can hit him really good. We got 1, 2, 3 successes. These are not successes. So at this point, we consult this number here. It's a 2. As long as we have 2 or more, we take no damage from him. Then we count up how many successes we have. We have 3. We compare it to this number to see if we were able to take this monster out. We were. I could choose to reroll. I'm not going to. So in essence, we were able to defeat this monster, and I only lost 1 will. Or I should say sanity. I lost 1 sanity from that encounter. Now, Monterey Jack is a super cool dude that likes to kill monsters. It says right here, when you defeat a non-epic monster during combat encounter, place the monster on this card. When there are 5 or more monsters on this card, discard this card and you gain the Trophy Hunter reward. When you have only 1 health or 1 sanity, I discard the card and I gain the blacklisted consequence. So we're going to place that there, totally fine. I have enough health and sanity, not have to worry about this, but we're on the way to good things. Also, at this point, I can choose to lose a sanity to move 3 spaces if I want to, but I'm not going to. There are no other encounters that have to do with monsters, so at this point, we can choose to either do a location encounter or a token encounter. And the location encounter is going to be an encounter that has to do with whether it's city, wilderness, or sea, or, for example, Arkham, Rome, etc. For example, we are on the pyramid, so I could either do the, wilderness, or I could do the bent pyramid one if I want to. Or I could do a token encounter, which is an encounter based on the type of token that you have at your space, a clue, a gate, a rumor, etc. Also, don't forget, we have this right there that we could do, which is going to be the Black Wind, which is part of our little adventure here that we're on, or I should say our main quest more than anything else. I could choose to do a Black Wind event instead. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and we're going to do an actual encounter here, because remember, I have my treasure map. It says after resolving a location encounter or an expedition encounter on this space, flip this card. So it has to be one of those two. So we're going to do a location encounter, which means we're going to do the bent pyramid and see what happens. We'll draw the top card from the bent pyramid and see what it says. It says, your lantern reveals a corpse trapped at the bottom of a deep pit. You climb down to investigate. Test strength. I have 4 strengths, so I'm going to test that. Now, I only need to get 1 success. That's all I need is just 1. And we did. We got 1 right here. That's awesome. Remember, I did have my bullwhip, but this can only be used on combat encounters. And that's not a combat encounter. So since we're able to complete that, we'll read what it says. If you pass, you find the remains of a treasure hunter. Gain 1 treasure map unique asset. That's absolutely hilarious. I already have it. If you fail, you fall. Oh, well, I don't think I can get another treasure map. Unless there is, let's check. Well, there's more than 1 treasure map. So we're going to take this treasure map. I believe you can have more than 1 unique asset of the same type. If I can't, please let me know in the comments below. I didn't find anything that says I can't gain more of these. But it's going to be the same type of thing. When you gain this card, I'm going to place a random clue face up on this card. And after resolving a location or an expedition encounter on that, I'm going to flip this card. Let's draw our clue and see where we're going to be going for this particular place. This is going to be in the Himalayas. So if I want to run all the way to the Himalayas, I could take advantage of that treasure map. At this point, we're just going to replace it with this one, and this is now resolved. Let's see what it says here. After you resolve a location encounter or an expedition encounter, flip this card. We're going to flip it. It says you come upon a small shrine, and double check your map. Surely this is the location the map indicates. Inside the shrine, you find a strange object wrapped in a silky cloth. Gain 1 artifact, then discard this card. Oh, sweetness. We were able to find ourselves a pallid mask. It says, during the encounter phase, you may choose an encounter as if there were no monsters on your space. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, the cool thing is if I can somehow get this over to Ursula, she could then hopefully take advantage of her little ability here, or her little quest here, that allows her to remove an artifact and gain the renowned reward. So we might want to try to get our characters together soon so that can happen. From where Ursula is, she could either do a Rome event or she can do a city encounter. It's up to her. We're going to do Rome. Why not? Because that sounds awesome. We have our card. Let's flip it over. Rome. A stranger hand stands outside you during a storm at night. He invites you to pledge yourself to some shamaness to receive the god's gift. When the day breaks, you may gain a dark pack condition to gain 1 boon condition and improve your will and one other skill of your choice. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, I know for a fact dark packs are probably the worst thing you could possibly get, but I get a boon. I get to improve my willpower and another skill of your choice. Oh my gosh, that's so hard to pass up. How can we not do this? This is amazing. I've improved my will. I'm going to choose to do my influence. And then we've taken our dark pack. And this is the boon I decided to get. It's blessed. Now, whenever I roll a 4, 5, or 6, those count as successes instead of just a 5 or 6. And if you would gain another blessed condition, I'll flip the card. And if you would gain a cursed condition, I have to discard the card. And if I roll a 1 or 2 when the reckoning happens, I will have to discard this card. Now, of course, we have 2 bad things going on with her, so we might want to take care of these as soon as we can. Now, I don't have any way to get rid of this. It's just going to happen potentially. This one I do have a way of getting rid of potentially on my next turn now that I have more influence and I have that blessed condition. At this time, the lead investigator, which is still Monterey, is going to draw the first Mythos card and see what we have found. We found we are all going to die. That sounds absolutely terrible. It says here, your anonymity was an illusion. The servants of the Ancient One know exactly who you are. They know what you are afraid of, and they know how to hurt you. They will make you suffer until you can endure no more. And even then, they will not stop. And it says, you're all going to die event. Each investigator rolls 1 die and loses the total number of health or sanity equal to the die roll. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's absolutely horrible. So we'll resolve everything on this card from top to bottom. We'll start up at top. We're going to move our Omen track 1 and then put some Doom out if needed. We're going to resolve the Reckoning effect on everything starting with monsters, Ancient Ones, Mythos cards, and then anything in our possessions and our conditions. The next thing we will do is spawn a spawn gate equal to our card here, and according to it, we are going to be spawning 1 spawn gate. So here we go. It's Eldrich Horror time. We'll move this one this way, and the Nile River is one of those spawn gates, so our Doom is going to go down to 11. The Reckoning effect for Nephrin Ka, it says right here, each investigator may move 1 space toward the bent pyramid. Then each investigator that did not move loses 1 sanity. So Ursula will move towards the bent pyramid. And our friend Monterey, he's already at the bent pyramid. So I believe he's just going to lose 1 sanity because he cannot resolve the ability to move towards it. I could be wrong about that, and if I am, please let me know. Also, as you're watching this, don't forget to check the pinned comments of this video where I'll be putting some corrections post-launch if there's something I misplayed. For example, this situation right up here, am I able to continue to move even though I'm already there, or do I have to take the sanity? I believe you just have to take the sanity, but like I said, could be wrong. The only thing we have left to do is we have to resolve the things that poor Ursula has here. The first one we'll do is our blessed condition. I got a 5. I get to keep that. Our dark pack, I do not want to see a 1 here. We got a 5 on that. And the last one is our debt, where we don't even roll. We just have to deal with it. And debt says here that it is going to, the man wears a hat and a brown trench coat. We do not want money. He hisses and grabs your throat. You feel as if part of your identity is being stolen from you. I have to test my willpower. If you fail, a fragment of your soul is ripped away, lose 3 sanity. Okay, that's going to be terrible. So we have to roll our willpower. Lucky for us, we boosted that quite a bit. We actually have 4 willpower right now, so we're going to roll 4 dice. I need to get a 5 or 6 in order to pass this. And I got plenty of 4. I need, sorry, a 4, 5, or 6 because I am blessed. So we're able to just discard this debt. That was awesome. That went a lot better than I thought. That was all because I got that spear now for what a deal. Okay, and these go back with our character. The last thing we have to do is spawn a spawn gate. So let's see where our next spawn gate is going to go. It is going to go in Cairo, of course. Everything's in Cairo. Look at this place. It's out of control. And we have to draw a monster and put it there. There's going to be 2 monsters there in Cairo. Oh, yuck. That's going to be absolutely terrible. Let's dig into our bag of monsters here. I've got a bag of monsters right here. Here's our bag of monsters. Let's see what we have. We got a whole bunch of them in here. Hopefully not something too devastating. That'd be Bad News City. What do we find? We have found ourselves a, well, I can't even read it here, Cult of the Goat. All right, we'll put him right here. Cult of the Goat. There you go. You are in Cairo. Now, it does have a reckoning effect, but it doesn't have any green effects. If it had a green effect here, you would have to deal with what it said. It has a specific thing that's going to have to do with like spawning or something. For example, this one did say when the monster is spawned, move it to the heart of Africa. So that's why this one had to move instead of be out here on this board. So Monterey here, he like wants to kill things. He's going to keep the lead investigator. We've survived the first round of Eldrich Horror. We are going to continue on. He gets to move across this. From what I understand, it says here, once per round, during the action phase, an investigator may move along any number of interconnecting local paths without performing an action. So this is all kind of free, which means I still have 2 actions. The problem is, there's so much here, there's not much I can do there. I can focus, because that's an action I can do with monsters on the board. You can only have 2 focus tokens, which is where he is at his max. The other action I'm going to perform is a travel or prepare action. I'm going to grab a boat ticket, and I can do that because it does have a boat connection here and a city connection up there. Those are his 2 actions. We'll move over to Ursula. Ursula's first action is to move here and then join him, and then she's going to want to trade. She wants this, so she's going to trade for that. And then I'm debating about whether or not I'm going to give him this spear, because if I give him that spear, he could go to town on these things. But I think he likes his bullwhip. After all, he's like an Indiana Jones guy. He's going to keep his bullwhip. It's going to be pretty sweet. Or should I give him the thing? Oh my gosh, him with a holy spear would be holy moly good. It says he gets +4 during a combat encounter. And he's going to have to deal with him first. I think we are going to do that. I'm going to trade the holy spear to him, and I'm going to give the bullwhip to Ursula. They've kind of traded now. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I think we're good. And at this point, we are going to start with our encounter step. And the first thing is we have to combat encounter every monster in your space. And it starts with the lead investigator, which is still Monterey. So he is going to start. We're going to start by trying to take out let's take out the Cult of the Goat. Let's take out the Cult of the Goat and see what we have to deal with here. He's not going to, this guy's not going to be too bad either. He's magically resistant though. Roll 1 die on a 1 or 2 advance to doom 1. Okay, well, we got to get rid of this guy anyway. So we'll take out the Child of the Goat first. Now, because I'm super smart and I gave him that spear, it's no good against this guy. The reason why is because this person is magically resistant, which is terrible. So the first thing we have to do is check our will. There isn't anything we have to do with that, but I do have to attack him now. I can only use 4 dice. I can't use my spear, which would give me an extra 4 during my combat encounters because it is magical. And this is magically resistant, so I can't gain the benefits of anything that is magical against this. So I'm just going to roll my 4 dice and see how this goes. Hopefully it goes pretty good. It still went pretty good. I got 2, which is enough to block any of the damage coming in, and he only has 1 health, so he is able to be killed. We'll put him over into our stack of 5 that we need to have. We are going to take on our next character here, the Deep 1 Hybrid. He is going to have 1. Now I'm going to fight him with -1. When you defeat this monster during a combat encounter, lose 1 sanity and gain 1 random item asset from the deck. Well, that's not bad at all. Let's see how this goes. First, we have to do our will. I only have 2 dice for my will, so we'll see how this goes. I did get a 6. We were able to pass that. It only needed a 1 to prevent myself from taking any damage. Now, I have to attack him, but I have 1 less because of the number here. Though I can use my spear against him, so let's have him with this super spear. I got 4 more dice. I got tons of dice I can hit him with. Come on, how can I can't do badly on this roll, can I? No, I can't. I did fantastic. I got 2. Out of all that? Well, it was good enough for what I needed. I am able to block his damage. He only is going to come at me with 1, so that blocks it. I got 2 successes. He only has 1 defense, so he is also dead. That's 3 monsters on that guy. Wow, my guy is on fire. If there were any enemies remaining, it would now be Ursula's turn to combat anything in the square, but there are none. Monterey took care of everything without a problem. I do have that ability if I wish to gain an item. I'm not going to. It does say when you defeat this monster during a combat encounter, lose 1 sanity. Oh, I do have to do it. It doesn't say may. So I do have to lose 1 sanity. I'm at 2 sanity right now, which is too bad. I was really hoping I'd be at 3, but I do gain an item asset. So I'm going to grab a random item asset from the top of the deck. And I have found myself a fishing net. That's fantastic. You may reroll 1 die when resolving a combat test during a combat encounter. I can reduce the damage of monsters you encounter by 1 to a minimum of 1. All right, that's not bad. I got a fishing net, a holy spear. I still got another treasure map, which is out of control. And I have a boat ticket, and I've got 2 focus tokens for him. And he's doing pretty good. He's killed 3 monsters. If I can just take out 2 more, that would be fantastic. Since there are no enemies there, we now get to choose an encounter that we wish to do. I'm going to do this with Monterey. I get, as an encounter, an investigator on Cairo may attempt to convince the police that Eldrich has been framed. So I'm going to test my influence. I only have 2. Hopefully I'll get a 5 or 6 on one of these 2 dice. I did. Wow, my guy's just burning him up. He was able to convince the police that Eldrich has been, or Eric has been framed. And at this point, I am then going to complete this, and the active investigator gains the Erich Rice unique asset, and then I'm going to pick a random Museum 2 heist adventure to continue. Here's our new asset. It is Erich Weiss. It says roll 1 additional die when resolving a lore or observation test. You cannot become delayed or gain the detained condition unless I choose to. We'll put him right down there. And at this point, there are 2 different museum heist cards. So we're just going to roll a die and see which one we get. They're both right here. Whichever one gets the highest number is the one we're going to do. This one got a 6. I don't think there's going to be much. Ooh, it got pretty close, but it didn't quite make it. So we'll place this one back, and this is going to be the one we do. It says here, a lead to Telemarni. It's Museum Heist 2. You suspect that after the heist, the thief took refuge in the ruins of the ancient city of Arkrantaran. The city is home to many wonders, but you hope to find the thief as well. When this card enters play, place the adventure token on this location here. And when the adventure is complete, you receive a relic unique asset. Then one relic unique asset. Then draw the Chase on the River adventure. After an investigator resolves a location encounter in this location, the investigator leads to the discovery of the thief's hideout. Unfortunately, the thief manages to escape and flee down the river, leaving behind some of his haul. Complete the adventure. All right, we'll put this on top. That is now our adventure we are attempting. And I will place our adventure token right here in Alexandria. No, it's not Alexandria. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Right there. That's where it goes. Okay, that's not too bad. So we can get to there, I think, next turn and try to take that on. That'll be our plan. Now, of course, we do have some gates we might want to deal with, but I think we'll be okay. She is going to actually perform the one that has to do with the Black Wind. She's going to perform this one right here. It says as an encounter investigator on the space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to banish the Black Wind from Egypt. So we're going to do that. We're going to grab our Black Wind deck, which is this one right here, filled with all these cards. We're just going to give it a quick little truffle shuffle, even though I've already done that. We're going to grab this card right here and see what it says. Black Wind. One moment you trod upon solid ground, the next you are floating in the starry void. A towering figure with a head of a baboon appears before you, arms crossed beside him. A simple golden scale rests on the stone pedestal. He invites you to speak freely of the Black Wind. Test my influence. All right. My influence is now 3. I was able to get that up a little bit. So we just need to get 1 success. We got 3 4s, which normally would be absolutely terrible. Remember, we are blessed, which means that on a 4, 5, or 6, it counts as successes. So that's actually 3 successes, which is pretty sweet here. So let's see what happens. Right here, here's our little green effect here. It's the good one. According to our card, it says, beyond nodding occasionally, he never moves, but you see the scales tip slightly in your favor before sending you back. He teaches you how to use the scales against the Black Wind. I get to test my lore. All right, we'll test lore and see how we do. Our lore is also 3. Let's roll these up and see how we do. We got 1 success. Oh my goodness, that was close. A lot closer than the other ones. Oh my gosh. All right, we made it. It says, if you pass, the Black Wind suffers swift judgment. Place the Eldritch token on the active mystery. If you fail, nothing happens. It doesn't matter. We were able to succeed, so we are going to take our Eldritch token and place it right onto our mystery, as it says, our mystery right there. And it says at the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half, solve this mystery. Now, of course, half of my investigators is 1. So we'll be solving that. Of course, it has to get to the end of the Mythos phase. If something takes this token off before then, that's sad news. With the encounters complete, the only thing left is our Mythos card. Let's see what we have here. It says, the reports emerge from the Pacific Islands of curiously preserved mummies. Their skin is dense and leathery. But upon direction, you find their brains are alive. Okay, this is out of control. This is actually really thematic. That's super cool. Out of the aeons. It's an ongoing rumor. So rumors are usually really, really bad, and you want to try to get rid of them as fast as you can. When this card enters play, spawn the Jihanthraho epic monster on space 2. When it is defeated, solve the rumor. If an investigator would gain an artifact, he may gain one weapon artifact instead. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, each investigator loses all of his health. This health loss cannot be prevented, then solve this rumor. That sounds absolutely terrible. And it says here, discard one Eldritch token from this. And it starts with 4 on here. And I get to place down a clue. Oh my gosh, I got to get to this place and fast. Where am I spawning it? Space 2. We'll spawn this guy right here, which of course is on the opposite end of the board. I don't know how we're going to get there. I am going to put down 4 tokens out on this card. So that is done. Now, this isn't like a reckoning, so that isn't going to take place. But I do have to spawn clues equal to our card here, which is 1. So we're going to grab another clue token and see where it spawns. It is going to be spawning into the Amazons. We're going to place it right in the Amazon. Oh, that's not bad. That's kind of close to where my guys are. Not even close at all. So there we go. That's a Mythos face. Oh my gosh, I was doing so good. And then all of a sudden this thing, I've got to go take it out. Well, good news. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark that he loves holy spears. We're going to see if his holy spears can take him out. Either that or we're going to have to maybe sing some Britney Spears to him and see if that works too. We were able to complete this because it is now the end of the Mythos phase. So we have solved one mystery. We'll put that into our a pile that says congratulations. And we'll flip over our next one. And then we have what here? Hunter of the Dark. When Professor Echinok Brovin brought this mesmerizing jewel home to Providence, Rhode Island, none could have fathomed its dark past, or what nefarious manifestation of evil it held trapped within its light. When this card enters play, spawn the Haunter of the Dark epic monster on Arkham. An investigator on Arkham chooses an encounter as if the epic monster is not on his space unless he has the shining artifact. I'm definitely not going to pronounce that right. Trapasatorodon. I don't even know why he tried. If an investigator would gain an artifact, he may gain that artifact instead. And at the end of the Mythos phase, if the Hunter of the Dark epic monster has been defeated, I get to solve this mystery. All right. Wow, more monsters on the board. That are Bad News City. We're going to put that monster out there. Now remember, I have to try to gain artifacts now. So if I gain an artifact, I can get this one that can take this guy down. So if it wasn't bad enough to have one bad guy on the board, we got another super guy on the board there over in Arkham. But now remember, we can still do things here in Arkham as if he's not here. It only matters if we have that magic artifact or we have to take this guy down. So I think I know what Monterey is going to do. So it's interesting how all of a sudden this has turned from dealing with that sideboard, which has seemed to be the main force of what we're able to do right now, to all of a sudden having to come back over to here to take this all out. I love how this game changes as you play through it and you never know what is coming next. Interestingly enough, I know I just did this, but I think we're going to do this in reverse this time. Here's the deal. I'm going to do a trade action with Monterey. He's still going to keep this. He can then trade things to her since they're in the same spot. And he's going to trade his boat ticket and his holy spear back for his bullwhip. The reason I'm doing this because she has more health and sanity. So I think she can have a better chance of taking out whatever we're going to be fighting over in those bigger areas over there. That's going to be the plan with his first action. The second action is he is going to move and see if we can get to the next part of our mission. He's going to move right to here. Now, he can take any of these green to get there. Now, once he's there, he is then going to rest, which is going to give him back one of his sanity and 1 health. So he's at 3 health or sanity right now, which should help him out a little bit. Now, like I said, I think that Ursula is better equipped to take these guys out, though. And so moving into her turn, she is going to use that boat ticket that I got to move to space 17. Then I'm going to move to space 17 as my move action. I should say travel action. And then for my second action, I'm going to prepare again. I'm going to prepare by grabbing another boat token. Remember that boat ticket I just said I got? I'm not taking a boat ticket. I got a better plan. We're going to discard this. Remember, I have my thing here that says if you are on a not named city space, I'm not a named city space, you may discard 1 artifact and this card to gain the renowned reward. We're going to do that before we left Cairo. So for our first action in Cairo, we're going to discard an artifact. And that's totally what we're going to do, because now I can get my renowned status. I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to gain our renowned status. Our renowned status does say when you gain this card, you gain Jake Williams. Once per round during the action phase, you gain a focus or a resource. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm going to gain a focus token. Now that we have completed that, this is the point where now I'm going to spend that boat ticket and move and then get to number 17. So that was our second action, was to do the whole traveling around. But I do get to get Jake Williams. Here is Jake Williams, yet again another person. When you gain this card from the deck, improve your strength. Once per round during the action phase, you may shuffle the Expedition Encounter deck and or the Mystic Ruins Encounter deck. Well, that's probably, none of that's really going to pertain to us, I think, in this. Ooh, who knows? But I do get to increase my strength, which is really going to be nice. She is doing so good. Those are negatives. I don't want negatives. I want positives. So we're going to give ourselves +1 to our strength. We'll move into the encounter phase now, and there are no monsters that we're going to be encountering, so we're just going to grab a location. I can either do a city, wilderness, or sea. He is in the wilderness here, or I can do one based on the actual city. Now, according to our museum heist card, I have to resolve a location encounter in the area, and then the investigation leads to the discovery of the thief's hideout. So we're going to do one actually at that location. I kind of like doing the location cards. I think they're kind of cool. So we're going to grab one and see what we have. We have found ourselves this one. It says, within the labyrinth of Kish, an ancient voice whispers in your ear, tempting you with promise of power. You may gain a dark pact condition to advance the active mystery by 1. If you do not gain the condition, the voice will not relent. Gain 1 madness condition. Oh, wow. These dark packs, they can't be good. I'm totally going to take the dark pack. It's going to be bad, I'm sure. But here's the deal. Now, the mystery is a monster, not an actual thing where you're going to put tokens on it. If it was something you put tokens on, then you would just add the token to it. But since it's a monster, it's actually going to do 2 damage to the monster. And I don't know its health, so I'm going to have to flip it over to see what the health is at least in order to know. I'm not going to read anything. Oh, it's a star. What's the star say? Toughness is equal to the investigator's +2. So, oh, that's pretty good. So he's half dead. I'm pretty excited about that. Just think, if I can do that, if I can advance the mystery 1 more time, that would take that guy out, and I would have 1 more mystery complete. That's pretty sweet. Of course, now I have to put this dark pact next to Monterey. We both have a dark pact. It would be interesting to see what these are going to be. They're probably going to kill both my characters, which would be pretty funny. If we look at our adventure here, it does say that now that I have completed this adventure, I am going to, let's see, unfortunately the thief manages to escape and flee down the river, leaving behind some of his haul. Complete this adventure. When this adventure is complete, the active investigator gains 1 relic unique asset. Then draw the chase on the river adventure. Here is our unique relic asset that I drew. We have found, what's this? A pharaonic mask, which is kind of ironic because I think that's very pharaoh-y. It says here, item relic mask, or I guess it doesn't say mask. It says you may perform the action abilities of other investigators on the game board. Are you kidding me? That would be so good with 8 people. Oh my gosh, with 8 people you'd be masterful. But of course there is a effect here. You hear whispers of the pharaohs from the past. Flip this card. That's if the reckoning happens, so he now has this. It's not as good with only 2 players, but with 8 players, that'd be ridiculous. Now that this is done, we are going to do Chase Down the River. Let's see, here we have Chase on the River. So at this point, it says the Nile River is the center of life and commerce in the Nile Valley and throughout all of Egypt. The thief is headed upriver, and you race to cut him off before he reaches the jungle. When this card enters play, place the adventure token on the Nile River. So we'll move this to the Nile River. Then it says when this adventure is complete, the active investigator gains 1 artifact and draws the Proof of Innocence adventure. Now, in order to complete this, it says after the investigator resolves a location encounter on the Nile River, he may attempt to track the museum thief along the valley, which he's going to have to do with his observation -1. If he passes, I catch the thief and reclaim the stolen exhibits, and I complete this adventure. That is awesome. Ursula here is on a city location, so we're just going to take a generic city location card and see what we have to deal with here. It says, the city is having a festival. Recover 1 health and 1 sanity. It ends with a masked dance. That disturbs you. I have to test my will. I am sad, not sad, that I have 4 willpower and that I am already at max health and max sanity. Let's roll these up. I got 1 success right here. So we'll read our card. It does say, let's see here. If you pass, it clears your mind. You may discard 1 madness condition. Well, I don't have a madness condition, so that is the end of our encounter phase. We're going to move into the mythos phase. Oh, please don't be mean to me. Let's see what it says here. Oh, no, we got another rumor. Rumors are bad. It says here, astronomers in the southern hemisphere have begun to see radical changes in the stars. Constellations have become completely unrecognizable. Reports from Antarctica describe seeing a second moon. Oh, are you kidding me? That's terrible. It says here, transported to the Hades. It's an ongoing rumor. As an encounter, an investigator on Antarctica may search for the herds of Bayaki that inhabit the place at -1 to their observation. If he passes, he may spend clues equal to half the amount of characters I have to solve this rumor. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, each investigator loses 2 health, 2 sanity, impairs 1 skill of their choice, and gains 1 injury condition, 1 madness condition, 1 bane condition, and then solves this rumor. This is terrible. Wow, I got 1 person going one way, and now I've got another person that needs to go the other way. I have to get rid of these rumors. Rumors are bad, bad, bad. Oh my gosh, these are horrible. The good news is I think there's only 2 rumors in this Mythos deck when I created it, but I could be wrong. I'm not exactly sure how that works. According to the colors on the bottom here, if I remember, I think the blue ones are rumors, but I could be wrong. Some of those other colors could have them as well. So we'll place this out on our board right next to Antarctica and have to deal with that. Now, you're supposed to place these tokens out here to remind you, but I also try to put the card right next to it just so I have an even more chance of remembering, because I don't usually remember things all that great. So we'll place 3 of these tokens out here. Now, remember, if all these leave, I'm going to lose 2 health, 2 sanity, gain a condition of madness, obeyed, blah, 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 blah. I get about everything bad. Everything bad is going to be coming my way. So we got to get down here and deal with this as fast as we can. Or do I take out that? Okay, this only has 3. The other thing has more than 3 to have to deal with, so it might be better to take this out first before we have to deal with that big giant creature. Of course, if I can finish off these mysteries fast enough, I could win without having to deal with these things, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to get through them fast enough. Monterey is going to rest and grab back 1 sanity, and he's then going to move down to here, and that's going to be his 2 actions. For being renowned, I am going to grab a focus token, giving myself my maximum of 2. I think that'll be pretty good. And from where I am going to prepare to move. I'm going to grab a boat as well, a boat ticket here, and then we're going to make a travel action. Our travel action will be to here and then spend our boat ticket to Sydney. From where Monterey is, he is going to deal with a Nile River event here and see what happens. We're going to have a tourist camel has run off with his belongings. You try to track the beast. Okay, we'll have to pass our, observation. We have 3 observation. We'll roll our dice, see what we get. I got 2, a 5 and a 6. That's awesome. All right, let's see what happens here. It says, according to the Nile River one, it says, if you pass, the man pays you for your room and board for the evening. Recover 1 health and 1 sanity. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I am back to full sanity and full health on Monterey. That was sweetness. Now I am able to do my ability here, which is this thing. I can look for the thief. Now I only get to roll 2 dice for this to see if we find him. We got a 2 and a 4. That is not going to work. I'm going to use one of my focus tokens to re-roll the die. I need a 5 or a 6. I got the 5. Yes. Okay. Oh, so good. I get to gain an artifact, and then we're going to go to the next part of our mission here. Let's find our artifact. We have found ourselves the Ruby of Raleigh. It's an item magical. Once per round during the action phase, you may spend 1 sanity to perform 1 additional action. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Action economy in this game is amazing. Sadly, the wrong person has it. He only has 5 sanity. I wish somebody with 10 sanity had that, but they do not. So the river heist is done here. We're going to go to Proof of Innocence, which is the next one here. It says, according to this card, the thief apprehended. All remains now is to bring him to the police in Cairo and return the talisman to the museum. That's done. That's done. Eldrich's name will be clear. That's fantastic. When this card enters play, place the adventure token on Cairo. When this adventure is complete, advance the mystery by 2. Oh, that's so good. After an investigator resolves a location encounter in Cairo, he may turn over the museum thief to the authorities and prove our character, or Eldrich is innocent. If he has the Eldrich unique asset, complete this adventure. So we still have him. So this is awesome. We can actually take care of this hopefully next turn. So I've moved our token over to Cairo. And sadly, I have just seen my demise. This person is with Ursula. So it's not with this character. So I have to get her to Cairo in order to do this. And she's off gallivanting around the world, taking on bad guys and trying to stop something in Antarctica. And meanwhile, Monterey is just kind of hanging out in Egypt. Ursula is in Sydney. Let's grab a Sydney card and see what happens to her. We have Sydney right here. The father bats descend upon you, and you stare into the 3-lobed eye. I have to test my, willpower. My willpower is 4. We'll see how it goes. I got a couple successes. That's totally fine. We'll check here again. If you pass, you steal some of the creature's arcane power, improve my strength, and 1 other skill of your choice. If you fail, I didn't fail. That's awesome. So I raised my strength by 1, which is really good, to 2. Now the most you could ever raise a skill is by 2. You can't go any higher. I also get to do 1 other skill. I'm going to grab lore. Who knows? I'm guessing that as time goes on, I might need to be lorey or loreful. I don't know. So we'll have that there. The last thing we have is our Mythos card. We'll draw that. Yeah, here we go. Here's a reckoning symbol. Okay. Bad things are about to happen. It says here, finally, you benefit from fortuitous timing. The storm broke suddenly, and every ship, train, and bus that had been canceled has returned to service. You feel as if the sun washes over your journey, illuminating your path and clearing all obstacles. Event. Each investigator resolves an effect of their choice. Move 1 ship. Oh my gosh, those are all fantastic. All right, but first we have to move the omen track. There are no gates that have the omen track symbol of the red circle, so we're not going to add any more doom. I do have to do the reckoning starting with enemies. There are no enemies out there with a reckoning symbol, but there are cards that are part of those ongoing rumors. But first we have to do Nephrin Ka. He comes first. Each investigator must move 1 space toward the bent pyramid. Then each investigator that did not loses 1 sanity. Ursula can move back towards 20 because at this point from where I am, I can grab a boat ticket and then use both of them to get to Antarctica with my travel action, so I'm not too worried about her having to go back 1 space towards that bent pyramid. Same with Monterey Jack. He can go back over here without any problem. Now I'll be removing these tokens from both of our cards, making it closer to having to deal with the resolution of these rumors, which are going to all be terrible. Monterey Jack has 2 things that are going to happen during the reckoning. The first one is going to be this, and we also could have our Dark Pact. So first we'll roll up our Dark Pact and see what we get. We got a 5, so don't have to worry about the Dark Pact. I will place that back. Now we do have to deal with the mask. We'll see what happens when I flip this card. The Pharaoh speaks to you in an ancient alien language. You attempt to record what you hear or to translate later. So we're going to have to test our lore, which is 2. -1 is 1. This is going to be absolutely horrible. I don't want this mask anymore. It's what I get. I got a 2. I failed. All right, that's fine. I'm going to fail this. I'm not going to use... Well, I do have 1 more reroll if I want to use it. Sure, why not? We'll use our token here to reroll this. What could possibly go wrong? Well, maybe a skull. Still a fail. Let's see what we found. If you fail, the words are incomprehensible. Lose 1 sanity unless you discard this card. Then flip this card. Oh, I'm just going to discard this card. I don't need to worry about it. I don't want that. It's not helping me too much because with only one other player, it's not that big a deal. Now, if I would have had, like I said, 8 players in this game, that thing would have been awesome. Now, let's move over to our other hero here. It's going to be Ursula. Ursula has both of these. The first one is her Dark Pact. Let's see how that goes. Nothing. We'll put the Dark Pact back. Love that. Now, our Blessed Condition. Our Blessed Condition stays. That's so good. We got a 6. So our Reckoning is complete. We do have to spawn another gate, and we're going to have our our Sahara Desert up there gain a, what do you call those things? Gates. It's going to have its gate. And it's also going to get a monster, because gates and monsters are best friends. We're going to put a monster out here. We have the, what is this thing? The Carrier Nargot. All right, whatever. I think I might have, what's his name, go beat that thing up. Now, the last part of the event here is I'm able to either move a space, gain a ship token or a train ticket, or gain a resource, and I'm not going to do any of those. The reason why is I think I forgot to do the event on one of the other cards, and so I'm going to make it at least half fair, though I think the other thing was a lot worse than this. I think it was worse on the other card than this is beneficial to me. I hope that made sense. So I'm not going to actually gain the benefits that's on the bottom of this card because I think I forgot to do that last one. Monterey Jack is going to stay over here. He's having a party. He's going to move to here as kind of a free thing according to our little thing here. Then for my second action, sorry, I should say first action, he is going to focus. He's going to grab a focus token. Then for my second action, which is a travel action, I'm going to travel to here. That's going to be my plan. Ursula is going to be moving towards Antarctica, and I'm sure every person that is watching right now is telling me I am doing the wrong way because I just realized I need a clue token in order to get rid of this, and I have no clue tokens, but that's okay. I kind of have a plan. It's just kind of a plan that I'm making up on the fly here. We're going to use a travel action to right there. At this point, I get to have a free resource because I am renowned. So we're going to grab a resource. And after I get my resource, I am then going to try to use my influence to buy something here. Then as a free action, I am going to move up towards there. And she's able to do that because she has a once per round as an action. Oh, it's an action to move one space along an uncharted path. Okay, I am not going to do the resource here. I'm just going to move with my travel action, and then I'm going to use my action to move up through here. But then once I do that, I get to perform an additional action. Oh, I get to get an additional action. But it takes an action to move up there. Oh, that makes me sad. So none of this is going to work out. What if I get a boat ticket? Nope, that's not. Okay, she's going to move up there. Now she gets to do additional action, but from where she is up here, the only thing she could do is potentially focus or something of that nature. Let's look at our actions. I don't think there's anything she can do. Travel, prepare, acquire assets. I could rest. I'm already at full. I could gather resources, trade, focus. I'm already at 2 focus tokens. So yes, there's nothing really I can even do once I'm up here. So we're just going to call it a day up there in the Australian outback. We'll move into our counter phase, and we have to start with this thing that Monterey Jack has on him. So we'll see what we can do about this. We have found ourselves this thing. It's 2 willpower, and it has 1. Okay, if you pass both tests, you may choose to have this monster lose no health. If you do, you and this monster move up to spaces within 2 spaces. No, I want to kill this thing. We're going to start with our will, which is only 2, which isn't going to be very good at all. We'll see how this goes. I need 2. Oh, fail. I'm going to lose 2 sanity because I failed to survive both those sanity hits. We're going to lose 2 sanity. Not the end of the world. At this point, we're going to hit him now. I've got 5 dice because of my bullwhip here. I have to lose 1 because of that right there. So roll these up and see how we do. And it says here, you may re-roll 1 die when resolving a fight test during the combat encounter. I can do that here with this bullwhip too. I'm not sure if I can use both those, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to use both our re-rolls here to see how we do. Hopefully I get some successes. I got 2. That'll be fine. I was able to stop this attack coming in, and I did 2 damage, so this guy is dead. I'm up to 4 monsters on this guy. If I can get 1 more, he's going to get his special power too. Woohoo! At this point, we are going to... I wonder if I should try to close that gate. I haven't tried to close a gate before, and these gates are going to be bad eventually. I've got 3 of them out there. I wonder if I should close the gate or go for another little encounter. I could improve a skill. I like skill improvement. Let's do skill improvement. Maybe we'll close the gate next time. One of the reasons I'm not too worried about this gate is this thing has to swing all the way around to actually make it affect the Doom track next time. I really need to get the blue ones closed. Would be the best ones to do. Let's see what our card says here. We have the, what are we on? We're at the Sahara Desert. You discover the lost cities of Zessara. You search the ruined white walls. I'm going to use my observation. My observation is 3. Let's see how it goes. I got 1 success, and that's all you need is just 1. So the Sahara Desert then says, if you pass, you find a strange object within the rubble. Gain 1 relic unique asset. Okay, well, hopefully it's going to be better than that crown. That crown was terrible. We want something better. This time we have found a mysterious idol. It says when you gain this card from the deck, gain 1 clue. The idol reveals its true nature, purpose. You flip the card. Oh no. Okay, so, well, we get a clue. That's half the battle. And the clue we got was from number 7. So we get the number 7 clue. That's fantastic. Ursula is going to do a generic wilderness encounter, and that's exactly what I need to do. Let's see what we have found. We have found ourselves a hermit who offers to guide you on a spiritual journey of fasting and meditation. That I don't know if I could ever do that, but we'll see how she does. I am going to test my will of 4. Let's do this. Let's pass this test. Oh, wow, I did not pass the test. I am going to use one of my focus tokens to pass this. Come on, I need a 4 better. And there we go. I needed a 4. All I need is I'm blessed. It says right here, if you pass, unlock a new skill, gain 1 talent condition. All right, let's see what we get. Ursula has found a quick study. Once per round, when you gain this card or another talent condition, you may gain 1 additional talent condition. If you do, flip this card. What? Once per round, when you gain this card or another talent condition, you may gain 1 additional talent. So I can gain another additional talent right now? If you do, flip this card. The talent we were able to get is Martial Prowess. It says when resolving a combat encounter, you gain +3 during the encounter. If you do, flip this card before resolving the test. I never liked the idea of flipping cards. But we were able to complete that wilderness. So at this point, I have this. I have mineral research. This is going to be my oops, I screwed up maneuver here. It says after resolving a general encounter or an expedition encounter in a wilderness space, you may examine this area's soil. I'm going to check or do my observation, which is only 3. I need to get a 5 or 6 though, and then we're able to do some good things here. Oh, look at that. We got 3 successes. Our character's on fire. So I'm able to pass. I gain 2 clues, and then I'm going to discard this card. The clues we're able to get are going to be, which one's the first one here? We have got number 8, and I got to draw another one. The other clue I got is going to be San Francisco. All right, whatever. I got these 2 clues. That's awesome. I take the clues. Super excited about those clues. And I have to discard this card, and now I can hopefully take on that thing I need to deal with. By thing, I mean rumor. Let's go take on the rumor next turn. Let's see what our Mythos card is. We have, hopefully not another rumor. It says here, at the end of the ordeal, you have been left on your back, uncertain if you are lucky to be alive or implied doomed to survive, or simply doomed to survive. Wow, did we make it? Okay, first thing is I have to move the Omen track one, and I have to lower the doom for every blue gate we have out there. And we have one of them on the Nile River, so we're going to move our doom to 10. Now remember, of course, if that gets down to 0, we lose the game. There's lots of ways you can lose the game. Hopefully we win the game. It says event. Each investigator rolls 1 die and resolves the matching effect. All right, I'll see if I can roll them right here. First we'll do Monterey Jack. Let's see what he got. He got a 5. He's able to gain 1 clue. That's awesome. He's going to get a clue. He's going to get clue number what? Number 16. Fantastic. Going to gain that clue. Then we'll roll up for Ursula here and see what she gets. She got a 6. She gets to gain a boon condition. Oh, yeah. We were able to gain this composed card. When resolving a test, if you do not roll any 1s, you may reroll all your dice. When you fail a test, flip the card. All right, that's fantastic. Another flip the card thing. But hopefully I won't roll too many 1s. All right, that's the end of the, I forgot to do the rest of this. I have to do the reckoning first. The event thing should have been done last. I just wanted to, for sake of recording, it's just easier to take care of everything on this card right here. But do know that the last thing you're supposed to do is the event part. You're supposed to do these from top to bottom. So it should be the Omen track, then the reckoning, add a gate, and then you would do this. The reckoning is going to take place. We're going to have to deal with the Dark Pact. This is Monterey Jack. Let's see how he does. He is totally fine at the Dark Pact. We'll put that back. Now, of course, we have this mysterious idol. This thing's usually never end well. Let's see what we have for this thing. I have to, flip this card. The idol shivers in the feral howls of beasts in the night. It beckons you and can hear its words in your mind. You repeat the words to the best of your ability. So I have to test my lore, which is only 2. He's not too good at this. Come on, let's pass this. I got a 6. That's fantastic. We were able to pass. It says down here, if you pass, the words leave your lips as a wisp of glowing energy that slithers off into the night sky and to silence the beasts. One monster of your choice on any space loses 1 health. Then flip this card. I can move any monster? 1 monster of your choice. Does that mean I can use it on epic monsters? Because if so, this guy right here is going to lose 1 more health. He only needs to take 1 more, and he is super dead then. We now have Ursula's Reckoning to deal with. She has to deal with the Dark Pact here. Let's see if that happens. Nope, she got a 5. Now let's see about our Blessed condition here. Oh, we got a 2. We have to discard this. Oh, no, that one was so good. I forgot to do Nephrin Ka. He is also supposed to reckon. He was supposed to do his reckoning before we did the rolling on the cards. That was my fault. But everybody's going to have to move 1 towards the bent pyramid or suffer a sanity hit. That actually helps us here, so I'm going to move her to Sydney. And this kind of helps me up here as well. I'm going to move back to Alexandria. And the last thing we need to do during the Mythos phase is we do have to remove 1 of these tokens from each of our rumors that are out there. So we'll remove this one from, the Transported to Hades, and we'll remove the other one from Out of the Aeons. Having removed those tokens, there's only 1 left on this card. We need to make sure we get here and get here fast. Monterey doesn't have his objective for his character complete. 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 monsters on it that he has defeated, and there is still 1 on the board in the heart of Africa. So let's try to get there, because we know we can't complete this without Ursula, or at least trading the character back over to Monterey Jack. We're going to use that free action dealie to move through the green areas here. Then I'm going to use my travel action to here. And that gives me 1 more action. I think, do I rest or do I get a focus token? I think we're going to grab a focus token as my final action. So we're going to put this down with our other one. We now have 2 focus tokens. Those are his 2 actions. Now remember, I could, if I wanted to, take a sanity hit to be able to take an additional action if I want to, but I don't think that's going to help me at this point. Meanwhile, at the edge of the earth down here, we're going to grab a boat ticket because Sydney does have a city space. We're going to grab 1 of these, and at this point, we are now going to use our next to be a travel action to Antarctica, and those are going to be our 2 actions for our turn here. I do have still our renowned status, which once per round, I'm able to grab either a focus token or I'm able to get a resource. I'm going to choose a focus token, giving me my max of 2. Moving into the encounter phase, I'm going to try to close that gate. So we're going to grab a gate card and see what happens to our fellow person here. We have, you find yourself on the cloud-covered moon, Ninoth, looking down upon the surface of Yuggoth. You try to find the pyramids on the planet's surface. We're going to use observation. Our observation is a 3, so roll it up and see what we get here. We did get 1 success up here at top. That is our 6. Fantastic. Let's see what it says about the success. As soon as you glimpse the pyramids, a terrible green light shoots from their apex. You feel the light tearing your mind apart. I have to test will. Oh, I'm not good at will. We'll roll our 2 dice. I hope we get some good will. Let's see how oh, no, we failed. That's okay. I've got my focus token. So we're going to use our first focus token and see how it goes here. Come on, I need a 5 or 6. Nope. Use my second focus token, and we got a 3. Oh, no, we failed on every single point, which is too bad. Let's see what it says here. If you fail, the light devastates your mind. I lose 2 sanity. I am down to 1 sanity with him now. Oh my gosh, Monterey is down to 1. This is going to be huge. We have to hopefully pass this. As an encounter, an investigator in Antarctica may search for the herds. So I only have a 3 observation, so I only get to roll 2 dice. We'll see how this goes here. I do get a 5 and a 4. That's great, because remember, I'm not blessed anymore, which is too bad. So since we did do this, we are going to be able to, what's here? It says here, each encounter investigates an Antarctica, search for the herds of the Bayaki that inhabit this place. If he passes, he may spend clues equal to half the amount of investigators, which is 1. So I am going to pay my 1 to solve this rumor. We're going to get rid of that. I don't like that rumor at all. That was something else. Next, we're going to go into our Mythos phase. We did both of our encounters. Let's see what the Mythos has to offer. Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay. It says, "You have seen too much of the world of nightmares. Things that used to be simple have become nearly impossible. Everyday chores are deadly risks. Your only hope is to adapt and learn new ways of living." So at this point, we're going to advance the Omen track, and there is a green gate out there, so we are going to have to lower our doom to 9. We're going to have to follow the Reckoning, and we're going to have to spawn another portal. The order is monsters, then the ancient one, and then mythos cards. So the first one we're going to have is him. We're going to have to move 1 or take a sanity. Funny enough, this is actually, again, going to help her, moving her back towards Sydney. This does not help him, and with only 1 sanity, he has no choice to move or die. The only one that we have is the Dark Pact. That's on Ursula. We'll roll that up. I got a 4. It did not trigger. The other 2 we have is Monterey also has a Dark Pact. We'll see what happens. It does not come to fruition, which is fantastic. But I do, of course, have this mysterious idol. I think we saw this one before. I'm going to flip the card. It says this idol shivers with feral howl and beasts of the night, beckons you. You can hear the words in your mind. Repeat the words. I need to roll my lore, which is only 2. I need to get a 5 or 6 for him. I got a 5. That's fantastic. I think that was very important. It says here, if you pass, the words leave your lips in a wisp of glowing energy that slithers off the night sky to silence the beast. 1 monster of your choice on any space loses 1 health, then flip this card. So I'm going to flip this back over. Well, this mysterious idol seems too good for its worth, I think, because I'm about to do another point of damage to this guy because he's out on the board. I'm going to do my 4th point of damage, and that will kill this because it does say on here that it has health equal to the investigators here. And let's just make sure on this card there's nothing I'm doing wrong. If investigator would gain it. When this card enters play, the hunter of the dark epic monster on Arkham, the investigators choose to encounter as an epic monster. It is not on the space unless the shining... Oh, it's not on his space. No, I think you can still attack it. The end of the mythos phase, if the hunter epic... Okay, yeah. It doesn't say that it's not there to... Okay, I'm just going to be able to hit this thing. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. It just seems a little bit easy to be able to do this, but I'm just going to destroy this guy because that's what I did. He had taken 4 damage, and that's all he has is 4 health, and that removes the Hunter of the Dark. I'm not encountering it based on me being there. I'm just dealing damage to it throughout my cards and all the way the game is working. Again, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know, and I would have gone after something else. And since I'm not sure, and since that has to do with one of the mysteries, let's do something a little bit different. I'm going to give this creature 2 damage. That's what we're going to do. This creature does have, let's see how many it has. It has a total of 4. So it's going to take 2. I'm just going to put 2 health right down there next to it. If we ever decide to attack this guy, he's already got a couple damage on him. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm not going to attack this guy because the only reason we have the 2 damage on is because we were able to advance the active mystery. That's the way I believe that's the only reason we have the health up there. Hope that makes sense. And that's what we're going to go with. Again, if I'm wrong, please let me know. And because of the way this game has been going, super weird, the spawn gate that we are going to uncover is Antarctica. There we go. It's going to go right there, and we're going to put down a monster. We're going to draw into our bag here and see what monster we get. Hopefully something not too bad that we have to deal with. We have found ourselves, what's this? A rat thing. Oh, I guess it could be hanging out in Antarctica. It doesn't have anything that has to do with green or red symbols, so it's just going to hang out there. With the reckoning done and we spawned the vile gate, we only have left to roll our dice on this card. So we're going to roll first for our lead investigator, which is going to be Monterey. Let's see what he gets. Monterey gets a 2. Gain a cursed condition. That'll be fantastic. And we're going to roll for Ursula. Let's see what Ursula gets. Ursula got a 6. Gain 1 talent condition. So if she isn't good already, she continues to she's out of control. Our curse condition that we got, which is going to be awesome here, I only succeed on 6s now for successes, and if you would gain another curse one, I flip the card instead. If I gain a bless, I get to discard it, and if I roll on the reckoning symbol, I get a 4, 5, or 6, it goes away. Let's hope that happens right away. Next, we have our relentless card. When resolving a strength test during a combat encounter, I may reduce the monster's toughness by 1 to a minimum of 1 during the encounter. If you do, flip this card. Oh, we might be doing that when we fight one of the big guys. At this point, I was going to have Monterey try to get to the heart of Africa and take out that last enemy, but now I only succeed on 6s. So we're going to backtrack a little bit. We're going to move over to here and be happy about that. That's kind of a free thing we can do on this sideboard here. Next, I am going to rest. He's always been at full health, but he needs to get his sanity back. He only has 1. And I wonder if I should just do another. Oh, I can't do the same action twice. The other one I'm going to do is a move action. No, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to grab a boat ticket. I've got a plan. It's probably not great, but who knows? We're going to grab a boat ticket. That's going to be our other action. For Ursula, I am going to grab a boat ticket again. That gives me 2. You can only ever have 2 of the tickets. So here we go. I've got 2 of these. We're going to do a travel action. We're going to move 1, and then we're going to use both our boat tickets to move 1, and then off the board and over to San Francisco here, or not San Francisco, I'm sorry, over to this, number 2 right here, so that we can try to take on this guy. Before we move into the encounter step, there are a few things I was supposed to do. One is that I'm able to gain either an asset or a focus token for Ursula. Ursula is going to take the asset because she's already got 2 of the focus tokens. At this point, we're going to fumble around in Cairo with our good friend here, Monterey, and see how it goes. He has this card. It says, you meet an important people at the production of Aida at the Kevedal Opera House. Improv. Okay, sounds fantastic. We're going to roll our influence. Our influence is super good at a 2. We'll roll up 2 dice. I need a 6. We're not going to get this. I don't have any tokens, nothing I can do. Let's just see what happens to this poor guy. The show hints at the location of a lost treasure. Nope, if you pass, find and gain 1 relic. If you fail, you're exhausted by the search is fruitless, lose 1 health. Let's hear. Opera House improve. Oh, I get to improve this, sorry. And then I have to roll my lore -1, so that's even better. That's only 1 die. I did not pass. I lose 1 health and improve my influence. I apologize. I misunderstood what that first part was. So good news, I get to improve my, influence. Bad news, I had to take 1 health. I am down to 6 health here and 3 influence. All right, let's see if we can take this guy down. We are going to look at him. He has I need to take 3 sanity. Okay, I only have a willpower of 3. And he's only going to do 2 damage. I have to do 6 to him. He's physically resistant, which means I could use my Holy Spear, because my Holy Spear is magical relic weapon. And it's going to give me 4 during my combat, or my strength, so that'll be really good. And when resolving the strength test, roll 1 fewer die for each sanity you lost from the willpower roll. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have to roll for our willpower first. Not got anything that's going to help me with that. I've got 3 dice. Now, I do have 2 focus tokens, so if all else fails, maybe I can use some of those to help me with this roll. Let's roll it up and see how we do. We got 2 successes! Oh my gosh, that is so good. Do I use the willpower to try to get that? The focus tokens. I think we're okay. I'm going to take just 1 damage. That is so good. Oh my gosh, that's out of control. Then I can use, I have this if I wanted to. When resolving a strength test during the combat encounter, you may reduce the monster's toughness by 1 to a minimum of 1 during this encounter. If you do, flip this card. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make his toughness 5. That's my plan here. When the fight is over, you struggle to breathe. Okay, so that's going to be when it's over. So I'm going to put that to the side. We are going to use this card, and I'm going to roll a ton of dice here. We're going to roll 4 for my magic staff here. Whatever I got here was it a magic holy spear, my holy moly spear here. And I get to roll 5 dice for my guy. Ursula has a 5 strength, but I'm going to have to remove 1 because I did take 1 damage from my from the willpower test. So, oh man, here we go. We had lots of 5s and 6s. Let's do this. I got 1, 2. I got 2, that's it? Oh no, look at all those skulls. I've got some focus tokens, so we're going to start using those. We'll use 1 focus token to get a 5 or 6, come on. Oh, I got another skull. We're not rolling that die again. I've got another focus token. We're going to roll this up. Come on, I need big money here. I got a 5, so it's 3. That's not enough. Oh no. So I did 3 damage to him. He still has 2 left. Oh darn. That makes me sad. Maybe I should have used that card at a different time. Let's just make sure I don't have anything else that can help us here. That is it. I don't have any super special cards, so we're going to end our encounter there. He has 3 damage on him, which is good. I think we might be able to get him next time, hopefully. I do have to flip this card. It says here, when the fight is over, you struggle to breathe. You have pushed yourself too far. Resolve 1 effect of your choice. Lose 1 health. then flip this card or discard this card. I'm going to lose 1 health and flip that card. That's going to put me at 4 health. And that's it. I'll take back my spear and my condition. That'll be just fine. And we'll move on. With the encounter step completed, we will move on to our Mythos phase. Now, when I did the encounter step, I should have done Ursula's fight first before I did Monterey Jack's, because you always do the encounters of the monsters before you do the locations. And since I wasn't able to defeat the monster in Ursula's location, I do not actually do an encounter from that area. Let's see what our Mythos card is. Our Mythos card is Patrolling the Border. It says here, the soldier refuses to explain why you must pass through this checkpoint, and simply asking makes you more suspicious in their eye. So we're going to patrol the border. It's another ongoing card. This is going to be terrible. We're going to be moving our Omen track 1. It's going to be moving to the blue one, which we do have 1, 2 blue out there. So our doom is going to go down by 2 to 7. Then we are going to resolve a monster surge on each space containing a gate that corresponds to the current omen. If no gates correspond to the omen, spawn 1 gate. So if we look at our card, we're going to be spawning 1 monster in each gate that is equal to the omen track. And we have 2 of them. We have 1 in Antarctica, and we have 1 over on the Nile River. So we're going to take our little bag here, give it a good old truffle shuffle shaky thing here, and pull out 2 monsters. The first one this one's for Antarctica. It's a ghoul. It doesn't have anything that goes on. And we'll pull 1 for the Nile River. We have found a ghost goat spawn. We'll put that at the Nile River. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to spawn a clue. So we'll just take the top or a clue from our little thing here and see where we spawn it. We are going to be spawning our clue at, what's this, number 6. So we'll place it down on number 6. With that completed, we'll continue on down the card. It says ongoing. When this card enters play, the lead investigator chooses 1 investigator to become delayed. Well, that's going to be him. He's going to become delayed. When this card enters play, the lead investigator chooses, okay, and then if at each reckoning, it's going to each investigator in a city space tests their, observation, and if it fails, becomes delayed and gains the detained condition. Then discard this. Okay, so that's terrible. We'll put this in our ongoing cards. It's right over here next to Nefren Ka, and that's it. Oh my gosh. Our lead investigator still is Monterey, and he is now going to become delayed. So that means he cannot perform any actions. Now, if I got delayed on my turn, during the action phase, it would immediately end, and I would lose all remaining actions instead of becoming delayed. But since this happened during the Mythos phase, I'm actually going to lose all of my actions, which is absolutely terrible. And instead of performing actions during the action phase, a delayed investigator just writes up his investigator token and calls it a day. So we are going to lay myself down. It's going to be our turn now that the Mythos phase is over, and we're going to stand ourselves up, and that's all I get to do. Woohoo! The only thing Ursula I want her to do is she is going to focus and gain a focus token. She also gets the ability to gain a focus token because of her renowned. Once per round during an action phase, you may gain either a focus or a resource. Now, I already have full resources, so we're just going to gain another focus token. That's my first action. My second action is I'm just going to pass it because I want to take this guy out. And in order to do that, I have to be in that square. And remember, I can only do the same action once, and I cannot rest because there's a monster in my space. Since we're done with our actions, we're going to go into the encounter step. And remember, the encounters, like I didn't do last time, always starts with the monsters are going to happen first for the encounters. We continue to have to deal with this vile thing. The first thing we have to do is test our willpower. We do have a 3 willpower. Hopefully we can stop some of this damage coming in. We stopped 1. So I'm going to take 2 will. I am still at 3 willpower. I'm going to use my Holy Spear again because that was really, really awesome. And I'm also going to use that Relentless card again. I think that really helped us to be able to lower his the toughness to a minimum of 1. So we're going to grab all our dice. I get 3, 4 for the spear. Now I'm going to have to take out 2 because we lost 2 willpower. I'm going to also get 5 from my characters. So that's awesome. And we're going to roll these up and we're going to take this guy out. Come on, we need to take this guy out. That'd be really sweet if we did. We got 2, and I think that's going to be enough because if I add 2 more, that's going to bring it to 5. And he only has he has 6 toughness, but I've lowered it by 1 because of this card. So that is enough to kill this guy. So we're going to stop right there. I don't need to use any of my focus tokens. We're doing just fine. Now I do have to flip this card, and I either have to take 1 health and flip this card or discard it. I'm going to take the 1 health, putting myself at 3 sanity and 3 health. And this guy's super dead, which means we are able to get rid of this rumor because this rumor is horrible. If it would have actually activated, it says here, when there are no Eldritch tokens on the card, each investigator loses all his health. So that means you're dead, right? That'd be terrible. It says this health loss cannot be prevented, and then solve this rumor. So that means you're pretty much dead. You're out of, you're dead. I don't understand why you would come back from that. That's the end of this rumor. We're going to get rid of it. Yuck, that was an absolute waste. I had to spend like 5 turns running around trying to stop that stuff. Now Monterey needs to choose an encounter. I'm just going to grab a city card, not even a Cairo card. I'm just going to grab a city card. The secret society made up of the city's wealthiest elite contacts you with an invitation. They would like to initiate you into their inner circle. You may gain a dark pact condition to gain 1 promise of power condition. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to discard this. I do not need a power of, the power of promise. Remember when I said I didn't want the power of promise, which is actually promise of power? This, I think it's worth a dark pact. Check this thing out. You may discard this card to reroll any number of dice when resolving a test. That is going to be so good. And then when the reckoning happens, I roll a die on a 6. The patience is finally rewarded, and I just flip this card. So we're going to grab another dark pact. So we have 2 dark pacts and a promise of power, and I can discard it to reroll anything I want, or any of my tests, I'm sorry, which is going to be really good. This again brings us back to the Mythos phase, and we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards left before we lose the game. If this ever runs out, we're done. Or of course, our doom hits the 0 mark. We have an Ancient Guardian. It's an event. Again, I'm going to move my little dealie here. There is a red gate out there, so we're going to lower our threat to 6, or sorry, our doom to 6, which I think is going to be bad news. Nope, I think we're okay here. We're going to be fine. Now, of course, I think I did something wrong. I actually thought this was the one that had to do with it. When he hit 1 sanity, this should have happened. When you have only 1 health or 1 sanity, discard this card and gain a blackened consequence, blacklist consequence, which is fantastic. He should have had that. That is something he should have had. That's my fault. It says right here, when you gain this card, gain an agreement condition. You cannot spend focus or resources as part of an acquire assets action. Awesome. Okay, so he did not get to finish his superpower. Instead, he got blacklisted, which is sweet. Now, on top of that, I am going to gain an agreement consequence. Here is my agreement consequence. It says, local action, I can test my influence, -1. If you pass, you may spend 2 clues to discard this card. Whenever I reckon on a roll 1 die on a 1 or 2, the time has come for you to pay your dues, flip this card. Bad News City is what I see all over that card. I sadly did not get my 5 monsters before I went to 1 sanity. I apologize. I thought he had the one that meant that when the doom went to 6, he failed. But that was actually the other character, Ursula's. That was what hers was. So sadly, he's blacklisted. It's just been running around the pyramids. All right, it says right here, an article on the back page of the newspaper catches your attention. An unexplained attack on a remote outpost left no survivors. You've read about 2 other similar attacks happening in the same region. You can see that the forgotten corners of the globe are growing more dangerous. So we'll have to do a reckoning. We're going to spawn a portal. Our portal is going to be spawning in Buenos Aires. And then I'm going to spawn 2 monsters on the active expedition space, which is exactly where Monterey is. Hilarious. The only one that Ursula has that she has to deal with is this Dark Pact, and she's fine. She doesn't have to deal with that. Now, sadly, we've got a million things this guy's got to do. First off, he has this agreement he has to deal with. Let's roll that. If he gets a 1 or 2, we're in big trouble. I got a 3, so we're okay on the agreement. Let's just grab all the rest of these and figure them all out here. First, we've got this cursed. This I want to get rid of. I want a 4, 5, or 6 and get rid of this. That's what we want. I got a 1. Oh, no, that's terrible. So I'm still cursed. That's horrible. Next, we have this Dark Pact. I don't want a 1 on that. I did not. Now I got that second Dark Pact. Let's roll it up. Let's roll it in the little thingy here. Oh no, this one is going to resolve. All right, we'll have to deal with this. And then the next thing, only other thing left is this promise of power. I have to roll a d6. If you get a 6, okay, I did not get a 6, so he's got this still, but I do have to deal with this dark pact. Let's see what this says. Nightmare meeting. The hooded figures approach you, gliding as if floating just above the ground. You hear the figure rattling voice in your mind, probing for the names of your companions. Suddenly you awake in a cold sweat. Each other investigator gains the cursed condition unless he gains a dark pact condition. Then discard this card. Both of my guys are going to be cursed. If I get another dark pact, well, we'll grab a dark pact. Why not? We're just going to load up on dark pacts. So Ursula now has 2 dark pacts instead of being cursed. The active location is, or adventure expedition thing is over here. So I'm just going to grab 2 monsters out of our bag. We have found a star spawn and we have found a skeleton. We'll put them right there. Fantastic. The other thing I have to do is I do have a mysterious idol. Of course, we have to do this one as well. This one was I have to test my lore. And if you pass, the words leave your wisp and glowing, and I get to do 1 damage to a monster of your choice for 1 health, and then flip this card. What if you pass? If you cannot hear words in your mind, best of your ability. If you pass, the words leave your lips in a wisp of energy that slithers off into the night sky in silence of the beast. Okay, so I just flip this card no matter what, and it's whether or not I'm able to do a damage to somebody. Our will is only 2. We'll see how that goes. Wow, I did fantastic. I get to do 1 damage to something. We have 2 enemies where we are. I don't see why we don't take these guys out. I'm going to guess this guy's worse than the other guy, so we're just going to give a damage to this person. I don't think it's going to be enough to kill. Let's check it out. Nope, not even close. So we'll just give 1 damage to him and continue on. Our lead investigator is going to start by using his ship. This ship is going to take him down here. Then he's going to move over to 17. That's his travel action. And at this point, he's now going to rest, giving himself back 1 of his sanity up to 3. I think it's best to keep my guys at least at 3 sanity. Our goal with him is going to be the Himalayas. I need to try to find an artifact. And he's got a treasure map that maybe can give me an artifact up there. Ursula will go next, and I think I'm beginning to see the downfall of my existence here. I am going to use a travel action to there. Then I'm going to grab a boat ticket. Is going to be my next action, so we're going to prepare for our next move. That's the end of her turn. I'm thinking that we're probably going to lose the game based on our doom track falling into the ground, because I'm not dealing with the spawn gates, and I really should have been doing that. Our friend Montgomery Jack here is sitting in just a city space, so we'll grab our city card and see what it says. A flood has destroyed the library. You look through the sludge for valuable items. If you pass, you make an important find. All right, so I have to test my observation. My observation is 3, but I need 6s because I have my... Oh, I got a 6 because I'm cursed. I got a 6. That's awesome. It says here, if you pass, you make an important find. Gain 1 tomb unique asset. And a spell. Oh my gosh, that's sweet. Our spell we got is Clairvoyance. During an encounter phase, you may test your willpower or lore. If you pass, you may choose to encounter a clue as if you are on its space, ignoring monsters on the space. Flip this card. I don't know if I'm ever going to use that, but hey, it's kind of cool to have. Now we got this awesome tomb. Let's see what this says. Cryptic text. Action. You attempt to decipher the cryptic message in the text. If you pass, you uncover the secrets that could alter the fate of humanity. Oh, that sounds really good. I want to see what happens with that. Ursula is standing in San Francisco, so we're just going to grab a San Francisco card here and see what it says. Filio Farnsworth sends your instructive visions through the network of dreamers. Gain 1 talent condition. The dreams grow sinister. I have to test my, what is that? That's going to be my willpower, my least favorite stat. And I need, -1, so I only get 2 dice. But I need a 5 or 6. I got double 1s. That's no good. Let's see what it says here. If you pass, no I didn't. If you fail, you stop sleeping. Impair 1 skill of your choice. But I do gain 1 talent condition. Here is our talent. We have got Rugged. You may reroll 1 die when resolving a strength test, which is kind of good. Once per round, if you would lose 2 or more health, you may prevent 1 of the health loss and flip the card. Oh, wow, that's really good. And I have to impair a skill. I'm going to impair my influence, which means I'm just going to remove this token. I haven't had to do too much with it, so I'm just going to get rid of that token. Our characters are doing pretty well, at least she is doing pretty good with all of her stuff, so I don't know how much more I'd actually be trying to buy from the market. I really haven't gone that route. There's so many different things you can do in this game. You could spend so much time just buying things from the market, but with this Holy Spear, we're doing pretty good. There are a lot of things out there that could potentially help. For example, this one, which gives me +2 willpower and +2 strength during combat attacks. That would really have helped when I was trying to prevent taking any of that damage. With that done, we'll return to our Mythos deck here and see what we have to deal with. We have the Collector's Gift. Again, I'm moving that. I really need to get these gates shut. So that is going to move to the blue. And we actually now have 3 blue gates out there. This is why I'm killing myself. 1, 2, 3. I'm down to 3 doom left on my track. I'm also going to spawn enemies in each of those blue gates, which makes them even tougher to close because you can't do an event there when you got enemies there. That's pretty sweet. Let's see here. Let's read what it says. You thought you had made no impression on the elderly couple, even after your vivid tales. They still seemed uninterested in helping you, and yet now you hold their gift sent from halfway around the world. What could have possibly happened to them? All right, let's see here. Event. Each investigator may gain 1 resource or spend 1 resource to gain 1 relic unique asset. Oh my gosh, we're going to be spending resources. Well, I'm the only one that has resources. Oh no. So he's going to gain a resource, which is going to be Monterey is going to gain the resource just like that. Now, I've got tons of resources on Ursula, so Ursula is going to spend 1 of her resources to gain a relic unique asset. And she has found the tablet shards, a unique item relic. It says, when we perform a rest action, you may attempt to piece together the tablet shards for -1 observation. And if you pass, flip the card. I still have to spawn my monsters, and I have to put a clue down. We'll place a clue down in, let's see here, Arkham. We're going to place it in Arkham, so we'll put it right there. And I think that's about all I need to do, except for the monsters. We do have 3 monsters. We have 1 in Buenos Aires. He's going to gain this one right here. Then we have 1 in Antarctica. He's going to have his 3rd in Antarctica. Let's see here. We have gotten a Warlock. That's awesome. And then we have 1 more that's going to take place in Cairo, which is going to be this Serpent People. And it says here, when the monster is spawned, move it to the Amazon. So that's going to go into the Amazon. And just like every other Arkham Horror game, this gave me a false sense of security. I thought everything was going great. Everything was going wonderfully. But as you can notice here, I am 3 away from death. If I get this over to here and I haven't closed one of these blue gates, that's it. We are done. And sadly, Monterey is still cursed, so he's really no good to me. He's got to get rid of the curse. I need to find a relic to be able to actually attack this creature here. Or I should say artifact is what I need. So my only hope is his treasure map might hold up. So we are going to first, from where he is going to use a focus to gain a focus token. He needs all the help he can get. And he is going to move into the Himalayas as his travel action, and that is it. Meanwhile, Ursula is going to travel the globe in 1 move, pretty much. She is going to grab another boat ticket as her first action here, and then she's going to use both of her boat tokens along with her travel action to move here, and then use 2. Let's see here. She's going to move here and then move 1, 2 to there with her travel action, and then she has a special power that says, as an action, I can move 1 space on an uncharted path and perform an additional action. Oh, whoops. I guess she'll get there next turn. I was hoping I could get there and hopefully close the gate and finish off this, the next part of our adventure here. I was hoping to get rid of this by next turn, but we'll have to. I think I still might be able to get there next turn. We'll see how it all transpires. From where we are, at least the good news is I am not in any area where monsters are, so we're just going to do this Himalayas up here, which is going to be a wilderness encounter, and we have found the unwary traveler was buried under a rock slide. You can try to move the stones. If you pass, or you try to move the stones. I don't want to move the stones. I don't want to move those stones at all. We'll have to test our strength. I have 4 dice, but I have to get a 6. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I got 2 6s. That's absolutely amazing. All right, let's see what I've gotten. It says here, if you pass, where is it? I'm in the wilderness. He'd survived. Your possessions, okay, let's see here. If you pass that through he did not survive. Oh, he didn't make it anyway. You find, though, he did not survive. That's sad. His possessions did gain 1 artifact. Oh, fantastic. It says here now, instead of gaining an artifact, I can gain this dealy mobobber right here and hopefully use it on the bat. Actually, I don't think it's a bat. I think it's just a giant flying eyeball death machine here. Now we have this right here. It says, item magical, choose 1 monster on any space and roll 1 die. On a 5 or 6, discard that monster. On a 1 or 4, move that monster to your space. Oh, that's kind of awesome. Now it says, after resolving a location encounter or an expedition encounter on this space, flip this card. And we did that. So we'll flip this over. It says, treasure map. You enter the massive underground library that was marked on your map. You are amazed at the sheer volume of information that must be contained within these tombs. I gain a tomb unique asset and improve my lore and then discard this card. Oh, that's not too bad. My lore is now sitting at 3. I really wish I would have a willpower of 3, but you know, I'll take what I can get. I have found an ancient scroll. When you gain this card from the deck, improve my lore. So now my lore is at 4. It's my second highest stat. Once per round, when you pass a lore test as part of a spell effect, flip this card. Ursula here is hanging out in the wilderness. We'll just grab a wilderness encounter for her. And it says, you notice a highly venomous spider crawling up your arm. You try to gently brush it away, but your fear threatens to break your calm. I would not have even gotten that far. I just gotten bit and passed out. Ursula's willpower is 3. We'll roll this up. I got 2 6s. That's fantastic. Let's see what it says here. If you fail, you move too clumsily and the spider bites you. You lose 1 sanity and gain the poison condition. Well, I didn't. I passed, so nothing happens. Well, that's not too bad. You know, it's not always you're going to gain something, but at least I didn't gain bad things. At this point, I am going to I'm going to move with my travel action to there. Then I'm going to grab a ticket to ride here. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I've got a plan. Instead of taking my ticket here, I am going to use this. As an action, you attempt to decipher a cryptic message, and I am going to test my lore. All right, it's time for the Mizlos phase. Please don't fail me now. What I really want to see is a reckoning, but not a moving of the symbols. Let's see what we got. Well, I'm going to ask when you shall receive. I'm going to move our Omen track 1, which is going to move our Doom down to 2 because there is 1 green one out there. So this is pretty much probably my last turn unless I can close like 9 gates. It says here, in your quest for forbidden knowledge, you have let your enemies use your greatest strength against you. The dark forces knew how easily you could be blinded by your own pride. So as an event, each investigator loses 2 sanity and impairs his highest skill unless he spends a clue. We're just going to spend our 2 clues to not have to do that. We both have a clue. We're going to get rid of them. Now, I should do that after we do all the top part, but I'm just going to do it because we have the card in front of us. At this point now, we're going to do the reckoning, and then I'm going to spawn a portal right now just to have it done. We're going to be placing this one, in the Himalayas. Of course, I just looted the whole place, so why not have a gate come out when I pulled off the ancient scrolls there and that huge giant artifact. All right, so there's the deal. Now we're just going to do all the reckonings that we have to deal with. The first reckonings are going to be on monsters. We have 3 of them out there. We have the Star Spawn, the Warlock, and this fish dude here. Roll a die on a 1 or 2. The nearest investigator moves 1 space towards the monster. Let's see what we get. Nope, I got a 5. So that one's done. We'll put him back in the Amazon. Next we have the Star Spawn. Well, I don't know what it is. Let's see what it is here. It says roll a die on a 1 or 2. Advance Doom by 1. Well, I guess that's kind of a mute point. Oh, I got a 2. My Doom's at 1. This could be it right here if this Warlock does the same thing. We're going to put him back in Cairo. And then our Warlock, what does it say here? It says roll a die on a 1 or 2. The nearest investigator gains the cursed condition. I got a 3, so that's not going to happen. We'll put him all the way back down here in Antarctica. The next person we have to deal with is this one. So everybody has to move 1 towards the pyramids, which I don't think is going to be that big of a deal. So let's put Ursula at the pyramids and him down here. Next we have our Mythos card, which is going to have our investigators in cities test their, investigation? Observation, sorry. And if they fail, they become delayed and gain the detained condition and then discard this card. Monterey has a 3 observation. He is totally, oh no, he's not. He's still cursed. So he is delayed and detained where he is, which is awesome. And the other person is in the pyramids, so Ursula doesn't have to deal with this because she's not in a city space. But we are going to discard that card, and he's going to gain the detained condition. So we'll place our detained condition with our character and continue on. We have 2 dark packs when it comes to Ursula here. We'll roll the one over here, and we'll roll that one over there. Nothing. She gets to keep both of these. That's fantastic. Our friend Monterey here has a lot of stuff going on. He's got this curse. Let's see if we can get rid of cursed in a 4, 5, or 6. Nope, he is still cursed. He's got his agreement on a 1 or 2. Our time is up. Nope, that stays. That is not going to trigger. Our dark pact. Our dark pact is not going to trigger. Our promise of power. Our promise of power got a 1. Roll 1 die on a 6. Okay, so nope, that didn't happen. And then our mysterious idol is going to deal 1 damage to something, and I have to take a lore test, which now I have 4. Which is pretty good. We'll take our lore test of 4, and I did not succeed, so I think I just flipped the card. I do not get to do the 1 damage because he's all these 1s. And I didn't get a 6. Remember, I'm still cursed. I'm still cursed. This guy's been cursed half the game. Oh my gosh, he's been so bad because he's so cursed. Oh, this game is awesome. I can never get enough of this game. There's always so much going on, and it actually is super fun. So Captain Delayed here is just going to stand up. There's nothing he can do. He does have his Detained card, which is pretty interesting. As a local action, I can test, and if I pass, I can discard this. Otherwise, instead of resolving an encounter, I'm going to flip this card. So it means I could send her over to help if I had the ability to, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get over there. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the pyramids. But first, I'm going to perform a rest action. And that way, I can test to see if I can get my tablet. This is going to be awesome. We're going to use our observation -1. My observation is a 3. We'll see if oh wow, I got it. Okay, so we'll take our magic card here, flip it over, and see what it says. It says, through a maze of metaphors and allegory, you begin to piece together a narrative that describes current events around the globe. Resolve 1 effect of your choice. Gain 1 clue, then flip this card. You may spend 3 clues to advance the active mystery by 1 and discard this card. Oh, if I had enough of those, I could have taken out this guy. He only has the 2 health, and if I would have advanced the mystery by 1, it would have done 2 damage to him. Oh my gosh, that would have been so good. Instead, I'm going to gain a clue and flip this card. On top of that, I do get back 1 sanity, and I get back 1 health, so we're at 4 and 4, not too shabby. Now I'm going to do a travel action to here, and then I'm going to run there for free. I'm going to gain a resource for free because I am renowned, and that's going to be the end of her turn. We'll move into the encounter phase, and we have to deal with these guys. So let's see if we can take out both of these guys. Ursula's going to take out the skeleton first. I have a feeling she's going to be using this thing. Let's see what this guy's all about here. I have to do a willpower test of 2. Let's see if we can do this. We'll gather up our 3 dice, roll them out, and see if we... Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I got 2 6s. We survived that. Now let's see if we can take this guy out. I've got 5 dice. 2, 3, 4, 5 for my skills, and 2 more for my staff. If you defeat the monster during combat encounter, recover 1 sanity. Oh, that's going to be awesome. I need some of that back. Let's see how we do here. I got a total of 2, which is just enough. He only has 2. So we were able to defeat this guy. We're going to gain back a sanity. So we're at a total of 5 sanity and 3 health. Next, we're going to take on the star spawn. I'm a little worried about this one. We'll see if we can take this guy out. He's got 5. Oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, this guy actually might kill her. I get to roll only 3 dice for my willpower, and I have to remove 1 of them. It says right here, -1. So I only get to roll 2. Let's see how this goes. I got a total of 1. So 1 minus 3 is 2. I'm going to take 2 damage. I'm down to 3 sanity. All right, but I do get to roll 1.5 million dice to see if I can take him out. Wow, I dropped them all. That was not the roll. That was me just trying to pick up dice. 2, 4, 5, 1, 2. I need 2 more dice. I think I managed to throw them on the floor. We'll grab those right there. We'll roll these up. Now, before I do this, maybe there's something I can help me out here. I'm sure there are some rerolls I've got. Yes, I've got lots of rerolls. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my Relentless card here. That's going to lower it to a 4. Let's see how we do here. We're going to roll these up and hopefully get enough here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I did. I got just enough. 4. Now the 3, of course, blocks all that too. So we only had 3 because of this thing. So we were able to kill it. Now I either can take a damage or I can discard this card. I'm going to take 1 health damage. I am at 3 and 3 again. That's totally fine. And that's the end. This guy is also dead, which is fantastic. That's 2 monsters off the board. Sadly, those are not gates. I should be taking the gates off the board, but I have failed to do that. We have this card that I have to deal with for Monterey Jack. It says instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. We'll flip this card. And it says, starved for weeks. You are kept in a small cell without food for weeks. Every day, your captors interrogate you for information. Spend 1 clue or test your strength -1. If you fail, you are finally released. You are ravenous. Lose 2 health and gain the hunger condition. Or I can spend a clue. I do have 1 clue on him, so we're going to spend our clue to have this, to get out of here, I think. That's going to be the deal. And so we get to discard this card now after that. Ursula's encounter is going to come at Cairo. We're going to flip our card. What's the worst thing that can happen here? Legends tells of a treasure at the bottom of a pool beneath the Sphinx. But your story features a cryptic warning. We're going to test our lore. Our lore is 4, but I get to roll 1 additional die. Thanks to our guy here. I've probably been missing this a lot, but that's okay. I pass it, so we're totally fine there. Let's see what happens to us in Cairo. If you pass, you use the pole to retrieve the object. Gain 1 relic unique asset. All right, sounds like a plan. We found a stone chest. During a rest action, I can attempt to try to open that if I want to. It says here on our proof of innocence that after an investigator resolves a location encounter in Cairo, he may turn over the museum thief to the authorities and prove our friend here is innocent. And if I have this unique asset, I can complete the adventure. I do, so we are going to complete this adventure, which means that I can advance the active mystery by 2, which will destroy this creature because he already has 2 health damage on him. Because whenever I advance the mystery, it does 2 damage to an enemy. And remember, he only has 4 damage because he has toughness equal to 2 plus the number of investigators. So that is done. We have completed our second mystery. Now that this person has been destroyed, we have to take on 1 more mystery, and I don't think we're going to have any time to do it. We have the Beast. The resurrection of Nephron-Ka, the Dark Pharaoh, is prophesied to be heralded by a sinister and terrible portent, the awakening of the giant Sphinx of Giza, and a subsequent reign of destruction. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Then, when this card enters play, spawn the Beast epic monster on the bent pyramid. It cannot lose health unless an active investigator has 1 or more relic possessions. At the end of the Mythos phase, if the Beast epic monster has been defeated, solve this mystery. Oh, I think we would have been so close. If I'd have had maybe 1 or 2 turns more, I probably would have had this. The Beast will go right up here in the bent pyramids. Oh, so close to where I am. And I do have a relic. I could have actually gone after him because that Holy Spear is a relic. Oh my gosh. Moving into the Mythos phase now, I know I've been saying I'm going to lose when I go to Doom. That's wrong. I totally forgot. There's not the end of the game. The end of the game is, well, it could be the end of the game. We'll see how it goes. We're going to reveal our card. Now, I do have to move this, which means I am going to go to 0 Doom. And when I do, and I don't lose the game, I apologize. This guy awakens is the deal. When Nephron awakens, flip this sheet and resolve Nephron-Ka's awakens effect on the back. So it says here, evil stirs beneath the sands of Egypt as the Brotherhood of the Beast, a cult with mysterious loyalties, searches the final resting place of the Dark Pharaoh Nephron-Ka, seeking to fulfill the prophecy of his resurrection. And ta-da, he gets resurrected, ta-da. All right, let's see what it says here. First off, he awakens. Place a mystery token on the bent pyramid and place 3 Eldrich tokens on this sheet. Here's our 3 Eldritch tokens. We'll place them right there. And here's our mystery token that is going to be on the bent pyramid where the Beast already resides, which is pretty awesome. Then it says here, final mystery. The lightless temple beneath the bent pyramid has risen above the sands, and the insidious Nephron-Ka has returned, though he has yet to realize the full extent of his power. As an encounter, if 3 mysteries have been solved, an investigator on the bent pyramid may confront Nephron-Ka. He draws and resolves a Dark Pharaoh special encounter. And when there are clues on this sheet equal to half the number of investigators. So I just need one. The final mystery is solved and the investigators win. Now, of course, we do have the Dark Pharaoh's stuff down here. It says investigators in the pyramids or the Egypt side board cannot recover sanity as part of a rest action. That's going to be terrible because I actually am hurt in that aspect. Each time Doom would advance, discard one Eldritch token from this sheet. If there are no Eldritch tokens on the sheet, the investigators lose. So I kind of have 3 more turns here. And each investigator may move 1 space toward the bent pyramid. Then each investigator that did not will lose 1 sanity. That's that same reckoning effect that happened on the other side. And here's our cultists. We haven't drawn any yet, so I'm not too worried about those. And hopefully we continue to not draw them. Having dealt with that, we still have to continue here. We have to spawn these at the gates. So I'm going to spawn more monsters at the blue gates. Then we're going to draw out another clue and place it down. We have found another clue in, was it Shanghai? So I'll put that out in Shanghai. And we'll put out some monsters. So we need to spawn one in the Antarctic area here. Let's see what we have found. We found this guy right here. It's a cultist. So if we look at the card, there's nothing that has to do with the placement of it. It's only going to have a reckoning effect. And then we're going to go over to Buenos Aires and see what we have found there. We have found ourselves a crawling one. There's nothing. The other one is going to go in the Amazon River. Let's see what I can do in the Amazon River. We have the Sand Dweller. The last part of this says that each investigator with at least 1 task asset loses 3 sanity and discards 1 task asset. And super lucky for me, I do not have any tasks on any of my characters. Oofda, that is unbelievable. Your experience have made you more gullible rather than wiser. The terrible responsibilities you have taken upon yourself have made you more vulnerable rather than stronger. Hoofda. Okay, we made it through. Now, of course, we have technically 3 turns here because I have a feeling, and the funny thing is I think we only have 3 cards left. No, we have 4 cards left. So we are really close to ending based on this deck alone. Okay, Monterey has to get his butt back over here. We need him really bad. So he is going to move from here over to the sideboard. And there's a chance both of my characters are going to die doing all this. But, you know, that's what happens. Actually, the first thing is, nope, we're just going to go. I am going to first grab a boat ticket before I left that city space. Then we're going to move here and use my boat ticket to move to there. That is my plan. Now, as a free action, I can move all the way up here with this ability. The local once per round during an action phase, an investigator may move along any number of interconnected local paths without performing an action. So that is the deal. We're going to do that. And now we're going to use her to do the same thing. She is going to move along this path over to here. Now, before I move anywhere, I am going to perform a rest action, which is going to give me back at least 1 health, but it's not going to be allowing me to get any of my sanity back. On top of that, I can attempt to open this stone chest, and I believe I can also use the tablets as well. I think I can use both of these. I could be wrong, but I think it says here, whenever you perform a rest action, you may attempt this. And it says whenever you perform a rest action, I can attempt this. So we're going to start with this one. I can attempt this. I need 5 dice. Let's see if we're able to pass this. We were, so we can flip this card. And it says, what does it say here? It says, as you pry open the lid, the ancient box loses all structure and cracks into multiple layers of large pieces, spilling the contents in all directions. Countless scrolls of parchment and slate tablets litter the ground. Many are too worn to be of any use, but there is still plenty of valuable information you can gather from these documents. I gain a clue and a smell and improve my lore. My lore is now 5. That's fantastic. And I also get a spell and a clue. So we'll take a clue token and put it out on our character. She now has 2, and she also gets a spell. She is going to be able to take the spell Summoning is the one she got. It says here it's a ritual. As an action, I can test 2. If you pass, you may move 1 monster of your choice with toughness equal to or less than your test result to your space, then flip this card. I don't think that's ever going to happen. That's the end for that one. Let's go for the next one. I need a 3 or better. Or sorry, I get to roll 3 for observation, but I only get to roll 2 dice because I am -1. I passed. Wow. I get to flip this card. I think we've done this one. Through a maze of everything, yep, I can either gain a clue over 3 clues. I can activate the mystery by, advance the mystery by 1, which has been really good, but I will gain that clue. I now have 3 clues on here, so maybe next turn I can do that. Well, I can't actually perform a rest action where a monster is, so we'll see how that all transpires. But we do have 3 clues, which might help us. It is now time to go to the encounter phase, so we have to encounter the beast, starting with the lead investigator, which is going to be Monterey Jack. We have our beast right here that cannot be attacked unless I have a relic of some kind. He has a relic. It's not a weapon or anything, but he does have a relic, so he passes that. So he's going to attack this thing. Now, the interesting thing is I have this. And this does say on a 5 or 6 I can discard the monster. Now, I'm not sure if that'd mean defeating the monster, so I don't know if my mystery would pass. So I'm not going to use it. I don't think that would be fair enough to just discard this monster without much problem. Instead, I've got my bullwhip, fishing net, and all this fun stuff here. We're going to use that. And what else do I have here? Well, that's about all I got. So we're just going to roll some dice and hope and pray. So the beast here, we're going to start with his, willpower of 2. I have 2 willpower. We'll roll our dice and see how this goes. Remember, I'm still cursed because I can't seem to ever get rid of that. I got a 5 and a 1, so I failed both of those. So I'm going to take 2 willpower and damage. So I am at 1 right now, 1 willpower. And then I can attack it. Now I get to attack it. Oh, I even had -1. Well, that's hilarious. I can attack it with -3. I start with 4, and I get 1 with my bullwhip for 5. So I think that's all I get for these, right? Yeah, I can reroll a die. That's fantastic. Now I'm going to lose 3. Now this thing's going to do 3 damage to me, so I don't even know how I'm going to get through this. We'll see how this goes. Rolls up. I just need 2 6s. Let's see how it goes. I got nothing. Okay. So I am going to use my focus token that I have to re-roll a die, and I'm going to use the fishing net to re-roll a die as well. We'll re-roll both these. It's not really going to matter too. Oh, I didn't get any. I didn't get any. He's going to take 3 damage. Okay, so that was awesome. This guy pretty much just ran right at this thing and just got slaughtered. He did nothing to it. He did absolutely nothing to this thing and just took 3 willpower and 3 health damage. That's all that he actually did. Wow, that was amazing. Now, again, I'm not sure if I can use this. I don't think you can for when taking out one of these creatures of some kind that has to do with the mystery, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. There we go. That person's done. It's time for Ursula's turn. Ursula has to do hopefully a little bit better than that. So she, first off, needs to do her willpower at -1. Her willpower is normally 3, so she's going to roll 2 dice. I need 5s and 6s. Let's see if we're able to do that. Come on, let's go. I got nothing. So she's going to take 2, bringing her down to 1 willpower. Unless I want to use one of my focus tokens, I could do that. Maybe I'll use a focus token. I get a 5 or 6. Yeah, okay, I only took 1 willpower damage. That's fantastic. I kind of needed that. Now we're going to attack this person. Now this person is magically resistant, so I can't use my super duper holy spear here. So instead, I am going to use my martial prowess, and I'm going to use my relentless as well. These 2 cards seem to be going well together. It says when resolving a combat encounter, you gain 3 dice during this encounter. If you do, flip this card before resolving the test. And it says now on the back, it says you may spend 1 health to gain +5 during the encounter. Instead, after resolving the test, I have to roll. We're totally doing this. Okay, I am going to lose 1 health for sure. I'm down to 3 health, but I get 5 dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 5 for myself and 5 for that card. Oh my gosh, this is out of control. And this thing only has 3 toughness now. Oh, but I have to lose 3. I have to lose 3 because of this right here. Now let's see if we can do this. I need 5. I need what? 3? 3. I need 3. All I need is 3 here to take this guy out. Oh, come on. Can we get this guy? I need 3 successes here. I got 1. Really? I got 1? Well, I'm going to use a focus token here for that. We're going to hopefully take this guy down here. 1 focus token, and I'm re-rolling one of my dice. Come on, a 5 or 6. Okay, I got 2. That's fantastic. Now that's all my focus tokens, but I do have 3 clue tokens. I can use those to re-roll as well. So let's start using those. We're down to 2 clues. Let's re-roll one of our dice. Come on, I need a 5 or 6. I got a 2. We're going to re-roll again. Come on, I need a 5 or 6. Let's get that 5 or 6. Yes, we got the 6. This guy's toast. I did 3 damage. This person brings his toughness down to 1, and the 3 also prevents all the damage I'd take. So poor Monterey Jack came in and just got absolutely brutalized by the guy. But that's okay. Ursula came in and was able to take out the beast. And I still have 1 more clue after we're done. And then I either have to take a damage or discard this card. I'm actually going to discard this card at this point. I don't need that anymore. And I got 3 or more, so it says your combination of strength and focus is unparalleled. No additional effects. Flip this card. That's awesome. All right. Wow, what a great turn that was. Now, from how I'm reading this, it does say at the end of the Mythos phase, if the beast epic monster has been defeated, resolve this mystery. So that's at the end. So this mystery is still in play, which means I can't go on to try to take on Nephra Ka's abilities yet because I have to have completed 3 mysteries. So this is still not able to be done. So instead, both of our characters are in the Bent Pyramid. So their only thing they can do is either do a Wilderness or a Bent Pyramid card here. So I'm just going to do a Bent Pyramid card for Monterey Jack. Let's see how this goes. This could be the end of him. All right, let's see how this goes. The Bent Pyramid. It says, small hieroglyphics are inscribed throughout the pyramid. You try to find them all. I'm going to use my observation. And then we'll see how that goes. Now, I'm also just going to do hers since I've got the camera right here. We're going to see the Bent Pyramid. One of your friends begins to speak with the voice of Nephra Ka and then tries to kill you. I have to pass my strength test. We'll start with Monterey Jack. He needs 6s. He did pass. So let's see what he's able to find here. I get to gain, if you pass, they direct you to the lost treasure. Gain 1 relic unique asset. Fantastic. Then we're going to do her. She gets 2 of these, so she needs to get she has to do her strength. Let's see how she does. She barely passed. Oh my gosh. And she is able to, you pass, your friend recovers and gained a new insight, gain 1 clue. So she's going to get a clue, so she is up to 2 clue tokens, and he's going to gain a relic unique asset. He has found himself a stone tablet. When you perform a rest action, you may attempt to decipher the things. It's not going to matter. I can't do any of that because I'm stuck in the pyramids with bad guys. Oh, there aren't any enemies there now. I guess I could take a rest action. I just can't get any sanity back. It's time for everybody's favorite time. It's the Mythos phase. Let's see what we have here. We have oh man, again, I really want actually the reckoning to happen because I want to try to get rid of that curse condition. It says here, losing hope. First, we're going to advance our Doom marker, or an Omen track, which is going to remove one of the counters from the Nephra Ka Awakens card. Then we are going to, we're going to spawn a bunch of guys on the red one, which I think there's 2 red ones out there. So we'll just spawn a couple monsters. At this point, I think these monsters are irrelevant. I've kind of been not dealing with monsters, and maybe I should have at first. We've got 2. The first one's going to go in the Himalayas. It's a cultist. The cultist isn't going to do anything unless there's a reckoning, and the other one is going to be a cultist that is going to go in the Sahara Desert. Those 2 now have their monsters next to their spawn gates. We also have to spawn a clue. Let's see where our next clue is going to go. Our clue is going to go into number 3. So we'll place that on 3. Now let's go to the card. Oh boy. Okay. Now another thing they might not, that I haven't told you yet, is the side of these cards. Some of them have like snow areas. Some are just plain, and some have these tentacles. These are considered the hard ones. These ones with the tentacles. So let's see what it says. It says, the sun sets hours ago, but you are nowhere near falling asleep. Your mind reels with the thought of all the places around the world where madness and brutality crawl into this world from the alien landscape. So at this point, I am going to event each investigator loses 1 sanity for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen. If no gates are on the game board that correspond to the current omen, advance the omen by 1, and that's why it's a hard card, because it can kill you and you're all dead. There are 2 red gates on the board, and so I have to lose 1 sanity for each person out there. For each gate, that's 2 sanity. And it says each investigator loses it, so I can't even divide it up. It's just boom, 2 sanity to both characters. Both characters go down. Wow, that was awesome. That was such an epic game. This game is unbelievable. I can't think of a game that parallels this when it comes to just the overall, everything going on with it. You have to manage Doom. You've got to manage these gates, which was, of course, like I've been saying, my downfall, and it actually became my downfall. At first, I thought it was, but then I forgot that after the Doom is done, you actually get to flip this guy and deal with him. So, oh man, this game, I could play this game over and over and enjoy it so much. I'm really excited to get a big game of this going at some point with maybe like 6 to 8 people. I think that'd be an absolute blast. Here is what an Eldrich Horror failure looks like. Oh, it was so much fun. So many gates out here, so many enemies everywhere. Should have maybe concentrated on that. I just stuck to trying to deal with that mystery. These are super fun. I was glad I got to go through one of these. That was really cool. We did almost take down all of this. If we would have gotten through the last one there, I would have made it to the end. Oh man, that was so awesome. I love how there's the difficulty swings back and forth, and you never know. You're always on your toes at all times in this game. It is super, super fun. Now, of course, there are probably a lot of little things I missed here and there, but that's okay. The fun of this game is just the experience of being able to play Eldritch Horror. And I'm super thankful to Colin for letting me borrow his copy of this game. I don't think he's going to get it back. I think I'm going to hide it from him in a secret place in my house, and he'll never find it again. Of course, I'm kidding. But this game is super cool, and I might even have to get a copy of this for myself. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the description or anything in the comments. I apologize. In the comment section, please. Anything in the comment section. That'd be awesome to hear from everyone. This is Eldritch Horror. This is awesome. I didn't use absolutely everything that I could have, but I did use a majority of the things that were available to me. This is an awesome experience, and I love the way that it can just change every time you play, depending on which one of the ancient ones you use, which some of the characters you use. It just is super fun, and there always is a big challenge in order to get through it. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to check out my Patreon. The link to that is also in the description of this video. Patreon supporters most of the time are able to help me decide how the games go, and we are able to help level up our characters, decide who plays in the games. Also, when I do live painting sessions, people can help me decide what miniatures we're going to be painting up as well. Also, if I do any giveaways, I also give a little bit extra to the Patreon supporters for helping me have this channel grow and come to fruition. It's super awesome to have everybody there. Those that are part of the Patreon are shown here on the screen. Thank you for your continued support. It really means a lot to me. Eldritch Horror is an amazing game. I'm probably going to bring this back to the table at some point. Probably, it might become my October game. I might play it every October on the channel just to have. And I'm going to have Colin join me, I think, at some point to play again with me. We had an absolutely fantastic time playing this live. If you're interested in seeing that, please check out my live tab on my channel, and you'll see that there, along with some other great games that Colin and I have played together. Again, thank you so much for watching this playthrough of Eldritch Horror, and if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the table.